Hello, my dudes, and welcome back to the Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. I am the gold medalist winner, Michael.
What'd you win a gold medal in?
Weightlifting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Like, what kind of weights?
all of them.
Oh, yeah?
That's why I won.
Well, they just give gold medals to anybody nowadays, I guess.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't watch the Olympics, so I don't know. I just assume that,
I'm the best, and you don't even know.
in weightlifting?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of weights, though? Like, what are the weights made
The heavy
of?
kind.
What are they made of?
They're made out of kgs instead of LBSs.
You want to see me throw this football over those
I'm
mountains?
throwing these football over these mountains.
Yeah, that's a thing.
What?
Anyway.
How you been?
Yeah, man.
How you living? What you doing?
Picked up a shift at West Coast this week for the first time.
Nice.
Like,
I guess all those complaints weren't that valid.
no, I'm sure they're all completely valid complaints.
Uh-huh.
It just, I don't know what they are, so I can't begin to address them. Can you just not be you? That seems to be the crux of it. Like, can you just stop everything?
I can do that.
When it suits me. No, but
Can you just turn it off? That face you make, just turn it off. I don't like it.
people have a problem with the way that I look at them sometimes.
I heard.
And to be fair, sometimes
Roommates,
I do
customers.
look at people with derision sometimes.
Can't just be staring at me with that face.
The handicap guy irritated me again today, and I'm pretty sure I look like the other people in the shop.
Handicap guy?
Yeah, a guy that comes to do a loaning that like he won't fucking do anything for himself.
The Ohlone. I thought you meant West Coast. I was like,
No.
handicap guy.
I wasn't at West Coast today. I was at a loaning today. But yeah, that was just the guy who just irritates me because he's just like he's all these things I know he can do for himself.
Is that the guy that talks about being in college?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. He wanted me to
I
fill.
throw these footballs on these mountains.
Can you fill this lighter for me? Yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of something. The fuel's right there though. Like he's in a wheelchair, so it's actually less effort for him to grab it out of this drawer because it's like he doesn't even have to bend over.
Oh, it's accessible.
It's totally accessible to him. He's like, but I always have you guys do it. And I just told him, I'm like, that's not an argument for why I should do it for you now. That's just an argument that you're just lazy. And so he just leaves it there. So I was like, all right, whatever. I would do for someone else. So I bleed a lighter and fill it, go and hand it back to him, right? And it gets worse. I'm doing some other work, tagging some fucking cigars, whatever monkey bullshit I do all day, right? And the phone rings. And I look at the phone and I see that it's his name on the phone. And I just walk back behind the bar and I just look at him and hold the phone. Can you turn the TV on the Olympics?
What a lazy fuck.
Like, he couldn't be bothered to raise his voice by a couple of decibels so I could hear him, or wheel his electric wheelchair 3 feet closer to me so
I'm trying to save the environment by not using too much electricity.
And I didn't even say anything. I just looked at him, and like everybody in the room that saw me look at him just started laughing. Sometimes you don't have to say anything, you know?
Just kick him out.
I just got that kind of face where I can just let you know that I don't like you.
Dear Jeb, he looked at me with that face again.
Yeah.
Can you tell him not to do that face? I don't appreciate it.
Yeah. Maybe. I get it.
Wow, that's a new low. I've never. Yeah. That's pretty good.
He called from 20 feet away because he didn't want to raise his voice or go like this. Hey, can you turn the TV on?
Yeah.
Like, and this is the sort of stuff, like, literally every single thing that, like, a person could do for another person, he will ask you to do it. Like, open the door. I know he can open the door to come in. I know he can because if I'm indisposed somewhere in the shop and I don't see that he comes
Gets
in,
up, stands up out of his wheelchair, opens it.
But he'll just figure out a way to get in.
Mm-hmm.
He can get his cigars. He can get stuff out of the cooler. He can get everything. The shop is pretty handicap accessible. And so, but like just anything that he can ask you to do. Like he asked me to open his water on several occasions. Open a bottle of water for him.
Mm-hmm.
Until I just started to tell, like last time he was like, "Can you open this for me?" And I was just like, "No."
I'm not your mommy.
I didn't even explain. I just said, "Nope." I'm just not gonna fucking do that.
I think he's one of those energy vampires. He just
Probably, yeah.
wants your attention all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the lowest one I've gotten was Mumbles, R.I.P. He was sitting down and he called me over. Here, can you fill up my lighter for me? I'm like, are you serious? You couldn't get up to get free gas for your lighter. For your lighter. Free gas. You're just that lazy.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, and the thing is he'll just do it to anybody. He'll just employ anybody that's around. Last time it was like another customer came up front and he said to me, "Hey, I think Don wants you to turn the TV on the Olympics," or something like that. And I just said, then he should come ask me to turn the television on the Olympics. I don't think he wants to come up here. And I just said, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, if you want, like, here's the thing is, like, I am basically obligated to help you with anything that you ask me to help you with that's within the scope of my job,
Mm-hmm.
right? Whether I know you can do it yourself or not. And he does already get special dispensation from everybody because he's in a wheelchair. Right, like, you know, he's having trouble getting in and out of the door. I know he can get through the door. He's done it before, like, without any help. And I know he can get his cigars because, like, if I'm not immediately there to help him with something, he'll just do it himself.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you can do it yourself, why do you keep asking me to fucking do it for you? It's not like you have to get out of your... It's not like it's some big fucking hassle or something, right? You're just bending down and getting something.
You're not getting onto the rings and doing a routine.
Well, like,
I'm not asking you to run a marathon. I'm not asking you to swim 100 meters.
I was glad that it's the one of the owners, I'm not gonna say who, but one of the owners, he came in and he was doing the thing, like he had got the door for the guy. And then he wheeled up and he was like, "Hey, can you get me one of those cigars from down there?" And he was just like, he's like, "No, dude, your legs are fucked up. Your arms are fine." He was like, it's what he said. He said the same thing. He's like, "I've seen you do it before. I know you can." I was like, man, I'm so glad, because there's so many times I wanted to say that to him, like word for word. Man, your legs are fucked up, but your arms are fine, dude. Like, why you acting like just because you can't walk don't mean you can't fucking like open a bottle of water, right? It's like, fuck. But I was like, but he's the owner, so he can say that shit to people. It's pretty
Your
good.
eyes work right. Why don't you go find that shit yourself?
Tell me what's happening on TV. I don't want to turn my head.
Oh, man.
I'm surprised he doesn't do that. What's the score? What's happening over there on the Olympics? Who's winning?
Take a drag off that cigar and blow it in my face.
I know, right? Anyway, so we're working back at West Coast. It's totally unrelated, but yeah, I'm picking up a shift there because
just one.
Yeah. Well, the other ones weren't shifts that I was available. There, I'm already working.
Yeah, they're not that great of shifts. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just like I would work them fine. I'm already indisposed working at the other place, so be happy to have them, but can't work at two places at once. So
you can't.
And this Aloni seems to be a more stable gig for me at this point.
What?
So,
What are you talking about?
Because considering I think this is my second stint at West Coast since I've been working at Aloni, so who knows how long.
Your second tour of duty.
Hey, it's a stop loss action or something. I gotta, but no, I'm happy to be back. Everyone kind of like, I was really surprised on my first day back. People didn't be like, "Since when do you work here?" Okay, people were just like, "Oh, hey,
yeah,
you were there again."
There you are.
There you are. It's like, yeah. So that's got a little bit of that. It's good to see some of the people. I haven't talked to Father Bob in a while, so that was cool. And Martin.
Ah, Martin.
Yeah, he's boring.
You just figured that out?
Although he did say something. He called me a
cheeky cunt.
something like that. No, he basically just said I was like a jerk like 3 times, or he said it twice in like an hour.
Huh.
I was like, man, Martin scoring shots off me. Like, what are you doing? He's like, you get one more, Martin, and then start slapping you. Just try to slap your old ass. I saw House Cat. I haven't seen House Cat in a while. I guess he's finally given his shitty roommate the boot after like a decade or however long it's been.
I didn't even know he had a roommate.
And he moved. He's like, oh, I moved into a house a while ago. And I just assumed it was to get rid of to get away from his fucking roommate, who, from what I could tell, like 2 years ago, he was fed up with. He's like, no, she moved with me, and I'm like, that's like having a wife you don't like. You know, it's like,
oh, that's new to me.
Fucking get rid of this broad. But he's like, yeah, I'm done. And so talked to him a little bit about that.
I'm imagining that dude makes enough money not to have a roommate. Right?
He's trying to help her out because he's nice, but he's doing the thing. This is what the crux of the talk with him was. It's like, man, look, I hate to see you going down this path, like trying to be nice, and you're trying to be nice for so long, but now you're just building resentment for this person. And over time, that's just going to make you not a nice guy. And like, I like you. I like House Cat for the most part. Like, he's a good dude. I don't want that to happen to him. And I've known too many people that it's just like, they're just try to be nice, and they just push it down for years. And I was like, this is how, I was like, you ever see those stories in the news, House Cat, where it's like, some couple has been married for 40 years, and like, you read this news article, and the police said that they were just having breakfast one morning, and out of nowhere, she just hit him in the head with an iron skillet and killed him. And police have no reason why. It's like, really? No, he probably told her some salty joke for the 8,000th time, and she just pushed that shit down, and eventually it just bubbled up. Like, that's what happens to people like that. Those people are the people that do what you do. They just don't say anything for like 30 years until they just go on a killing spree, or some fucking just jump off a bridge or something. Like, yeah, I don't want that for you, because it's what will happen. You just can't do it indefinitely. Like, you will fucking break eventually. And I don't want to be anywhere in the fucking mushroom crowd radius when that happens. It's like, yeah, you're not wrong. I'm like, okay, well, good talk, right? But I guess he's doing better, so it's good to see some of the old regulars and not so great. Like, I'm not used to being up in the fucking morning, because even at Ohlone, we don't open till 11. But at West Coast, we open till 10, and I gotta get there at 9:30. So I walk through the gate. I'm still groggy. I haven't even finished my coffee yet. And the first face I see in the yard is Chill Will. And he's just all amped up, right? He's just kind of like, you coming into work, like, I was just like, oh
man, this is the wrong person.
Yeah, and the thing is, one thing I will say I love about that guy is, despite all of his foibles and all of his, he picks up on social cues better than a lot of fucking
quote-unquote
people.
normal people.
Fucking A, he does. He's, oh man, I'm talking too much, huh?
I'm gonna leave you alone.
I'm annoying the fuck out of you, ain't I?
Looks like you haven't had to drip a coffee.
I was like a little bit, yeah. He's all right, man, I'll get up out of your head then. I was like, all right, well, at least he is annoying, but at least he has some self-awareness about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was just like, sometimes he's really, really placid.
Yeah.
Like, just like a fucking still lake. And then some days he's just got like that Little John energy about him, and it was the latter. He came in, it's just like, okay.
Oh no.
Okay. I was like, damn, dude, that's too early for the shit.
It doesn't help that the gate's not locked.
Yeah, well, because Chris was there doing some stuff.
Oh, okay.
So Chris was there, and he had I think he was like bringing back some change or something, like whatever. And so he was there, and it was already open, and he was sitting in the yard. And he just sang. I was like, all right, I'm just fucking gonna make him wait out there until it's like right at 10 o'clock. One more minute of this dude. But anyway, what's new with you?
Not much. Pretty standard week.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much like gave up on life after like Wednesday. I'm like, I don't want to do any of this shit.
You gave up on life? Like, you just...
Yeah, I was just fucking tired. I don't know why. I just didn't want to do shit. Like today, I didn't do anything except come here and try to set stuff up. I didn't do any of my errands and chores or anything like that. And I was like, fuck, I'm fucking tired. But anyway, yesterday got to take out the good old DJI Phantom 3 for a fly. The customer over at West Coast, Hideo, we've been talking about it for about like over a year, because his kids just got into like RC, like trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I fly drones. It's like, oh yeah. It's like, yeah. Well, you have your kids drive around. I'll show you how to fly a drone, do all that stuff, and it's pretty fun. There's a park, which is a pretty popular spot for like drone racing. Is a Bayland Park, right off of 237, 101, pretty close to Alviso. But yeah, it's a pretty chill spot, and it's got the itch again to fucking fly drones. Yeah, not the Phantom stuff, but more of like the racing stuff that I used to do. It's been about 2 years since I've flown a racing drone. So
See, what I don't understand about, like I say, when you say racing drone,
Mhm.
to me, like, is there courses or is like obstacles that you have to navigate around? Because otherwise, it just seems like whoever has the better drone that has the higher top speed will win.
yeah, because there's like 4 non
GMOs.
yeah. I guess there's like 2 categories, right? There's like the Phantoms, Mavics, all those things where they're mainly made for like photography, videography, and like really pretty stable shots. Racing drones are kind of like under an umbrella of like, you got track racers and then you got freestyle people. So you think of like track, like a racing track, they have set up courses and all that stuff. Freestyle is more kind of like street skating.
Okay.
You find obstacles to fly around, do tricks and all that stuff. So I'm more of like I'm not good at any of them, but like I rather fly freestyle
Right.
because it's just wide open, just fly around. I just cruise around.
It's the Tony Hawk free skate
Yeah.
of
Pretty much.
drone flying.
Yeah.
So racing, not necessarily like racing in like a traditional sense, just as opposed to like the stuff used for videography and stuff like
yeah,
stuff.
there's less training wheels involved with the flying like a racing drone.
Right, like it's more for performance and agility than it is for like getting some sort of
Like a nice perfect shot.
Yeah.
It's like all still.
Hey, if you have videography skills and photography skills, and you know AP style, and you can edit and interview sources, and copy edit and produce on a deadline, and you work good under pressure and can juggle multiple things, I know a job that'll pay you like $30,000.
Oh, word? Oh shit! I'm gonna close up the podcast right now.
I know, right? What are we doing this for?
What am I doing here? Yeah, it's just that itch came back. I'm like, fuck, damn it! It's like I try to kick the H, man. I try to kick the H to shut myself up, and I'm addicted again.
Well, it's because you've been distracted with other hobbies, right? You've been playing chess a little bit, and like just distracted with other kind of new stuff, and like, you know, you kind of come back to the old mistress. You're like, oh man, I remember why I used to like you.
You got the moves in there still.
The moves like Jagger. Is that the?
Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah. I don't know why they never had like they used to have these shirts. My ex had one when that song was popular, and she thought it was a super cool shirt, but I was like, it's gonna be dated in like 8 months, right? No one's gonna get this reference. But it has like this silhouette of like Pavel Datsuk, and it says he's got the moves like Datsuk, right?
Yeah.
And so like you've seen this before, but like why not Youre? Youre makes more sense.
Yeah.
I got the moves like Youre, and also Youre is a better player than Datsuk. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he has more sick dangles than Datsuk, but I don't know why did Datsuk jump on that? Because Youre don't care. He's just like, whatever.
Maybe because he's an old. That's why.
Maybe, I don't know. He didn't get it. He was just like, he's like as old as Mick Jagger, so they're fucking contemporaries, right?
I remember when he wrote that song. He's chilling out with me, man.
Yeah, it's good times.
Yeah.
I mean, no, Jagger is like gotta be fucking like 75, something like that. 80.
Oh, probably in his 80s.
He's probably almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
He's in his late 70s, and Your's only in his like mid 50s. So yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Same difference.
What's the difference? 20 years, bigger deal. So how'd that go? You didn't go out
crash.
there,
No one
like,
died.
okay.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like the updates they do onto the app, because you have to connect your remote to your phone to capture video and see what's going on with the drone. And they updated the software where, depending on the like how close you are to an airport, it'll like top off your level, or like there's a ceiling to it now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can, like before, like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, you just fly that thing up to the moon. Like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, and they'll just warn you.
Shouldn't be? What, are you gonna stop me?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Take your stuff away, put you in jail if you crash to a plane.
I mean, that's what they would have done, but
Mhm.
if you do this, if something bad happens, it's like saying, don't run traffic lights. Well, what'll happen? Well, if someone crashes into you, you'll die, and if you don't die, then we'll give you a ticket.
Or take your
So,
license away.
In other words, I'm free to run traffic lights as long as I don't get, like, there's no punitive deterrent. It's just, it's punitive, it's not deterrent, right? You don't have, if
Yeah, you don't-
only if
but
a
the- but-
catastrophic thing happens will I be punished.
Yeah, but you want to be a responsible, quote unquote, pilot, because you don't want to ruin the hobby for everybody else, right?
Maybe you don't. I do. I'm all about ruining shit for people. That's what I do.
Okay, that's
Ruin everything for everyone. I'm just gonna take a flying drone so I can ruin it for all the drone flyers. Single-handedly. No, I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
cool. So that was pretty interesting to see. It's like, oh, I can't fly over 100 feet. That's weird.
I don't get. They have like signs in some parks where it's like no drone flying. I'm like, there's a park. Why can't you fly a drone in a fucking park? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't
Fly
know.
a kite in a park,
Eh.
and kites go like 100 feet in the air. What's the difference?
Yeah. Sometimes they'll wrap around your neck and carry your children away and suffocate them.
Have you been reading like Edward Gorey books or
No,
something?
this happened recently.
A
Yeah, there was like
kite-
a kite festival in China, and the kite tail wrapped around this kid's neck and flung him in the air for like 2 minutes, like a minute.
It sounds like something out of an Edward Gorey story. I don't know why.
No,
Just
but it did happen.
the murderous kite or some shit. Like,
The murder tire.
murder tire.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, so his kids were like, racing the RC cars. I had an RC car when I was a kid.
Yeah, they're pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like all the. Yeah, I don't know much about RC cars, so I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Well, I remember like grabbing some from Toys R Us and kind of racing them around for like 5 minutes and breaking it.
I had a pretty decent one. Me and my dad had them. We used to take them to this like old abandoned mall.
Hmm.
And it was just like this old mall, and it was in perfectly fine condition. It wasn't like condemned or anything. It was just shut down.
Hmm.
And so it was like all linoleum floors, and there was all kinds of like little areas, like a little island in the middle, and all this like stuff.
Wait, was the
benches and-
mall like still open, but there's no stores in it, or was it like the break in?
Well, I think why it was open
Mm-hmm.
was because there was an arcade attached to it and a movie theater attached to it.
Ah,
So for access to the arcade and the movie theater, you had to go through the mall.
mm-hmm.
But like there were no shoppers. All of the stores were closed.
Mhm.
But it was like clean and like well lighted and like just a really cool place to like fuck around with your RC cars and shit. So we used to go up there. Whether we were supposed to, I don't know, because my dad would just take me to do stuff that I suspect we probably weren't supposed to all the time, right? Like, yeah, we're gonna do this, right? I remember being like,
Hold this gun real quick.
yeah, I remember being like 10 years old, and my dad's like, oh, we're gonna go shoot some pool. And I was like, this is a bar. Am I allowed in here? I was like, well, there aren't any pool halls around here that I could find. And I was like, okay, they're gonna let me in a bar? And he was like, if I want to shoot some pool with my son in a bar, I don't think anyone's gonna say anything to me. And I was like, fair point. And sure enough, we walked in, or put some quarters on the table. I saw the guy behind the bar kind of like,
Were you gonna serve them beer or what?
Yeah.
You fucking animal.
yeah, you're fine. It's like,
Yeah, there's like a certain age, like once you pass like the tween age, you're just
Yeah.
not allowed in like at a bar with your parents anymore.
Mhm.
Like 12, 13. Like get out of here.
the age at which you probably would be inclined to start trying to drink.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if you're under a certain age, then yeah, it's okay. Like I feel weird about that sometimes. Like Like at West Coast, they used to have the sign that says, you know, if you're under 18, drunk, annoying, or whatever, just come back when you're not,
Mhm.
right? That sign doesn't exist anymore, and like there's been people that come in through the door. Like I remember someone came in one time with a baby.
Yeah.
There's like, and there were people inside like smoking. It's like a wall of smoke. And I was like, you have like an infant, and you're walking in here to buy
Yeah,
cigars.
so
Like,
it's
really?
not bothering you. Look at it.
It's like, jeez.
Look at this baby. He's not bothered by it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I'm far from the kind of guy that's like, you know, oh my God, like, poor kids, right? Like, they can't
I've had the
cross street.
opposite. People like knock on the door. I'm like, yes, we're here to buy cigars. Like, you can come in. It's like, no, 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 no. Too smoky.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're in the wrong place then.
If you want to buy cigars, but you don't want to be around cigars, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't make a lot of sense. So, but anyway. Well, that's cool, yeah. So, you're going to go with, is this a guy that comes in the shop, you said?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, we're friends now.
I don't think I know him.
Hideo?
I don't think I know.
Yeah, he might be a nighttime guy. So, yeah. Sounds cool. Have a couple projects I want to work on with him. Probably put like a little camera on top of his kids' RC cars, and they can just wear the goggles and like drive around.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Do they still have like? Is it still like this?
Yeah, yeah, it's one of those.
Like the little wheel.
Yeah, I don't know why it's that, but whatever.
It's like what it's always been.
Yeah.
I would always just turn mine on the side. It was just easier to do that way.
Yeah,
but
it makes sense.
I
Yeah.
always did it that way.
Uh-huh.
It's like shaped like a wheel. Like a.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why it's that way.
Do you think they have like a boat one? It looks like a fucking boat.
Like a ship's wheel.
Yeah.
I used to know somebody that had a remote control boat, and now I'm trying to think. I think it does actually.
Oh, does it? That seems like the lamest RC sport or thing. Well, RC cars in general, I understand why you would give it to a kid because it's easy. But like as an adult, like you drive a real car. You got here somehow, right?
Yeah.
Like you've been in a real car. Like, why are you pretending? Like all the like at least with the drone, you could pretend you're an X-wing pilot. You're up in the air doing crazy shit. You can never do that unless you have a pilot's license, right?
Yeah, and at least in a go-kart, you can fuck around in the way you could not fuck around in a normal car.
Yeah.
Like you'd be like run people off the road, take turns all fast, and like fucking peel out and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal with cars.
I don't know. I haven't had a RC car since I was like 10,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe I would be into it. But it's not one of those things I'm willing to invest in getting the hardware to find out.
Yeah.
I just like buy it and maybe I would hate it. Like, this is stupid.
Actively hate it. I fucking hate that they make it
It makes me
illegal.
angry that I ever even tried.
I'm trying to ban this place.
That would be refreshing, because like so many
To
things.
ban stuff?
No. I mean, just to be angry about. Like, I'm so nonplussed about fucking everything for the most part. Just like, whatever. Like, sometimes I just get irritated about how indifferent I am about almost everything. Like, whatever. I don't know.
What do you feel about this?
I
I'm
don't
so
know.
mad about it,
Whatever. Just like, and the thing is, it's not even things that I like can't stand, like things that I just really don't like, movies or whatever that I just don't like, that I loathe them. They don't really elicit like anger from me in any way. It's like getting like so irritated that it's like pisses me off.
Wasn't that a good thing? Why don't you just get mad about stuff that counts?
No, I don't know, because I'm
Like
dead
the
inside.
fucking movies?
I'm dead inside.
Like
I want
you're
to
gonna
feel
waste all
something.
your energy and being upset about like how fucking Kevin Smith killed off He-Man
Yeah,
in the first
he
episode.
fucking.
I saw.
Apparently, he brings him back.
Oh, okay.
He is not really dead. So this is part of the reason that I didn't leave me wanting to watch it, was that like I knew one of those two things was true. It was either some like,
Aha! This was a sting operation.
yeah, it was either like some woke gibberish, like almost certainly like it's like, oh, a female character, which I don't get, because if you watch the old He-Man cartoons, there's fucking female characters all over the place, like kicking ass and like being cool, and Teela and She-Ra and all these fucking characters. Like, you don't need.
It passes the Bechdel test.
Sure, whatever. But so it was either gonna be that, or it was gonna be some bullshit where he like wasn't really dead, and in which case it's just the other problem that I have with things now is like, oh, there's no permanency or end to anything. It just goes on ad infinitum.
Oh, what? You're saying a children's cartoon is not serious? Oh man.
No, the thing is it is not a children's cartoon.
Oh man.
It is an adult's cartoon.
Uh-huh.
It's for people that grew up on He-Man, from what I can tell. But like, so it's like, yeah, okay. No, I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, I watched a short clip on YouTube about, I don't know what it was. It was he was on a podcast talking to somebody else, and he's the dude that was talking to Kevin Smith got really fucking emotional about it. I was like, chill out. It's all fun and games. It doesn't really matter. Like this whole idea of like it's ruining my childhood. No, it's not. No, it's not. Whatever you think it is, it's that in your mind. And it always will be that way in your mind.
Yeah, I don't get the whole like
It ruined my childhood. Like the whole female Ghostbusters thing. It's like it's ruining my childhood. It's like, really? Is it really gonna ruin your childhood? Yeah, sure, it was a terrible movie,
it's.
but it's not.
I
Gonna,
wouldn't even say it was terrible. It was just whatever. Like it had
wasn't
some.
that funny.
No, it wasn't. And it was kind of cringy at parts, but it did have some moments that were funny, and it was mostly like just whatever.
Yeah.
I was prepared to hate it a lot more than I did. I just was like, whatever. I mean, it's kind of dumb, but it's not any dumber than the fucking general rogues gallery of fucking movies that come out nowadays. Most movies are garbage, period. So why would you expect anything new? Why would you expect anything that you've ever liked? Period, that you have fond memories about, for them to bring something new to the table? They're not bringing anything new to the table. They're rehashing some garbage for nostalgia's sake. Why would you ever expect that to be ever what it was?
Yeah,
Even a shade of what it was.
Yeah, anytime you bring anything back, try to reboot it. I think it's just a lose-lose proposition. Like either you're gonna be too much of a fanfare where you can't get anybody new into the franchise, or it's too new where you're gonna just piss off the old fans.
Yeah, it just doesn't
And it
work.
doesn't work.
Because you can't, like, just whatever, it's garbage. It's either a fucking new Star Wars, the fucking last Star Wars movie, it's like all heavy-handed, like fucking fanfare
A lot of
references.
member berries.
Just holy shit, right? Or Jesus Christ. And like that would be forgivable if you just made a fucking good movie. And like it's once in like a decade or once every 20 years that like there's a Blade Runner or fucking Mad Max sequel or something that actually hits a high mark and manages to kind
Or
of
maybe
capture.
Dune. Maybe.
We'll see. I think they're overworking the dough. October. Oh fuck, that reminds me. Green Knight came out yesterday. We were gonna go see it. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
We went and shot pool instead.
Yeah.
But let's go see that. 'Cause it looks good.
Yeah.
It could be good because it's not a remake of something. It's something new and different.
Mhm.
Like maybe somewhat Arthurian. I can't really.
I think it's based on Arthur Tale.
Yeah, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I think, right?
Yeah.
Um,
You see the round table and all that stuff.
Yeah. Looks pretty good. I'll go see it because it's not those things. Like I don't know why anyone would ever think that like we're gonna do this thing and it's gonna be the thing that it's like it's not, because you're not in love with the thing as much as you think you are. You're in love with being a kid. Is really what it boils down to. And
Yeah, I imagine if you talked like a boomer, it's like, remember when your kid was watching Ghostbusters? What do you think about that? I was like, oh, it's dog shit. Fucking hated it.
well, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think it just depends. I remember when there was like certain things that like I was interested in when I was a kid when they were new, that like my dad was open to, like Ren and Stimpy. My dad, like, we watched, like, I remember when the first episode of Ren and Stimpy premiered, I was all about it. I'm like, I'm fucking all about this show. It was like a little kid, right? I was probably 10, maybe. I was like, man, I gotta get up on this. And watching it, I was like, what are we watching? This is so weird. I'm like, I really like it, though. And he was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know why I like this, but I really do. And I'm like...
Yeah, but yeah, the thing about Ren and Stimpy is like, they did show it on a kids' network, but it was like kind of built more for boomers that wanted to watch cartoons. Like they had the adult sense of humor, really odd stuff like Space Madness,
Yeah.
the booger thing,
Yeah.
all weird stuff.
And I don't know, apparently, like, I'm of some age group where I was just young enough to think that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And the other kids shows that were around at that time, I wasn't really all that into. Like, I never got into Rugrats or Doug or any.
What?
Yep. Like Rocko's Modern Life, I was pretty into.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, Ren and Stimpy was my jam, and there was just like a bunch of stuff that like. It's why we always talk about like stuff that you watched when you were a kid, and so much of it like I picked up more of it secondhand from my brothers when they were growing up. Because those things were like still on, like we were talking about like Salute Your Shorts last night, or even
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Dark, or Clarissa Explains It All, or like any of that shit. Like I just kind of picked
Secret
up
World of Alex
the
Mack.
secret. I mean, I watched a little bit of those because I had crushes on the gals, but like
Yeah.
the shows were kind of dumb, and I wasn't really into watching them. I just kind of wanted to be like, ooh, yeah, I like Melissa Joan Hart. Is that her name? Melissa Joan Hart and Larissa Olenek.
Yeah.
Are the names of the actresses that were in those shows.
But it's very strange. The other one, not Alex Mack.
Larissa Olenek.
Yeah, looking at her now, she's like kind of the same. She looks the same. Like
I don't think so at all.
To the point where it's like, I don't know about this. This
she
doesn't
looks
seem right.
She doesn't look like, I know, like when she was a girl, she looked really cute, and I was like, and that was like a good look for a girl, but it's not a good look for a woman.
Yeah.
It's like it's the same. It's a Hermione syndrome.
Yeah. I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, it's like
oh, she's gonna grow up to be really pretty, and it's like,
or fucking what's his name, Haley Joel Osment. It looks like a bigger baby, like a big baby. He looks like the same version of himself.
And you got some facial hair, so I don't look like a child.
Yeah, it's like so weird. Like, okay, yep, you just didn't grow into what you were supposed to look like, I suppose. So, but yeah, no, I had big crushes on both of those actresses when.
Haley Joel Osment? Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, or another one is Alexis Bledel.
Alexis Bledel, who's that?
Rory Gilmore from Gilmore Girls.
I've never seen the Gilmore Girls.
The blue-eyed girl from Sin City, the prostitute.
Ah, okay.
So when she was like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, it's gorgeous, right? It's like, oh, she's going to be, but like as an adult, it's just like a weird look. Like she just, I don't know. It's like some sort of weird uncanny valley situation where she just like doesn't look like a person. You're like, I don't know what this is, but it's weird. I feel like that might happen to what's her name too, Anna Taylor-Joy.
Oh, she already looks weird.
Yeah, but she looks weird, but like in a sexy way.
Oh, when she gets older.
Yeah, when she gets older, she might just be like a weird looking person.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it might be,
Ariana Grande. Well, what she's gonna look like when she turns 30? Because she's just like. She looks like a woman, but you could tell she's very young. Where do you go from there? Like, she's not gonna develop that much, I don't think. But no. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like maybe it's a good look in your 20s and 30s, but like this is why you got to go the Janine Garofalo route, because Janine Garofalo's looked like she was in her 40s since she was like in her 20s. So now that she's like in her 50s, she just looks normal.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Looks the same as she did in the 90s. Like, oh, you look the same, but like you've always looked like that. She looks kind of like my sister.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Janine Garofalo reminds me of my sister for some reason. Just, older. Slightly older. But yeah, I don't know. I feel you. But yeah, I didn't watch a lot of those shows. Like when I was a kid, I watched very few shows. I was always more into shows like when I was a kid that were mostly for adults, like the Twilight Zone. And like I grew up watching the Three Stooges when I was really little. I did really like the Batman TV show.
That was really good. Yeah.
No, not the animated series.
Oh.
The TV show.
I was not into that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that shit at all.
Really was into it, and I don't know why. It was so fucking stupid. God, it might be like a
the whole like the bat shark thing.
Spray.
Yeah.
Shark spray. Yeah.
Yeah, the Batusi.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? I don't get it.
I watched it when I was a kid, all the time.
Yeah.
When I was really, really little, I liked Alvin and the Chipmunks. But like even, but I always liked the old like Looney Tunes and like all of that stuff. But then remember when there was that second wave where there was like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and like Darkwing Duck and Tailspin. Yeah. I wasn't into that.
Oh man, I love that as a kid.
No, I felt like it was a bastardization of like, I'm like, this is not Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale like are like a different thing.
The Rescue Rangers.
No, not the Rescue Rangers.
I know, but there's a different thing. It's the Rescue Rangers.
But it's just like, to me, it just.
Well, I watched everything backwards because with Tailspin, that was all Jungle Book stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that at the time as a little kid. And when I watched the Jungle Book, I was like, what the fuck is this?
No, I watched all that stuff originally, and I was like, and I felt like, here's the best encapsulation I can think of the way I felt about it. Do you remember in the 1990s, like, I think I want to say post Space Jam, when on TV, on t-shirts, hats, bumper stickers, you would see like Marvin the Martian, and he would have like sagged pants and like a cocked hat, and
Yeah.
like the Tasmanian Devil Show, that was another one that they did.
Yeah.
And it would be like
Welcome to
Taz,
Tasmania.
and he would be like this, or whatever, and it was like that whole thing where
Yeah.
it was like all of the Looney Tunes characters
Urbanized.
doing that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know about you, but it just felt wrong, and it still feels wrong. And that, I was just like, man, that's just not.
It's part of the history now.
It's not like what those things are about, right? It's like, this is not what Bugs Bunny is. And so
He's about violence.
I just, yeah, not really. He's not really. Bugs was never all that violent.
I guess Daffy was the most violent. He wanted to shoot people
Mm-hmm.
real bad.
Yeah, Bugs is clever. That's why he's so lovable.
Mhm.
He's smart. And he instigates violence, right? He gets like Elmer Fudd and like Yosemite Sam to
Mhm.
like shoot Daffy or Porky or whoever, but he doesn't ever actually do anything.
Does Porky ever
right?
get shot? I don't think he did.
Doesn't
I don't think he's any like involved with any violence, right? He's just kind of a second banana.
Isn't he in no, I thought there was like a Yosemite Sam. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, so I mean, yeah, Bugs instigates violence,
Mhm.
but he's usually tricking people that are using violence
Yeah.
in some
Rabbit
way.
season, duck
Yeah.
season.
Exactly. And so like to me, I was into that shit. So when this whole like wave of like the Tasmanian like whatever came out, I wasn't into it. I was into
Oh.
Animaniacs,
Yeah,
which was
yeah,
like
yeah.
its own thing.
That was so dope.
Yeah, Animaniac. I've been watching a lot of ER, and like they keep kids will come into the show, and they'll be like, like pediatric cases and stuff.
Oh, it's
And-
coming back too.
And it's right in that era where it's like you see all the kids like their lunch boxes and their shirts and everything. I was like, oh, it's Animaniacs. I have Animaniacs stuff on. I was like, yeah, that kid rules. Right? Like, yeah, Animaniacs was a very good show. There was a couple of stinker.
Freakazoid, that was
character.
good. I like
I
Freakazoid.
don't think I ever watched that.
Yeah.
But
I think that's like an entry level into the weirdness that is like Invader Zim. Like
Mhm.
it was enough kind of Looney Tunes in it, but really weird. Really weird humor with it. That would like it would segue nicely into like watching Invader Zim later in the years.
yeah, I didn't watch Invader Zim until I was an adult.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it didn't come out until we were adults,
Mhm.
huh? But
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like,
Yeah, my buddy bought like a Filler Bunny comic at
Uh-huh.
the comic book shop. I was like, "What is this shit?" And then
Yeah.
found out about Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
yeah, my buddy Matt was really into Yonan Vasquez when he was he was a comic artist,
Mhm.
and I didn't know he did Invader Zim, but like
From
I
San Jose.
was never really into the whole like Johnny Comics thing. Like
Mm.
it was all right, whatever.
I really like those comics.
But I think part of the reason I wasn't really all that into it is because it's all just very familiar to me. Like the fucking like because I was like a goth
What is this
kid.
edgelord shit?
No, I was like a goth kid in high school, so it was like I liked it, but it just seemed like I don't know. It's like yeah, you're just like a guy I know that made a comic, and that would be cool,
Uh-huh.
but I wouldn't be like, man, it's one of my favorite thing ever. It's like, oh, you're just like if I sat down and had a conversation with that guy, and you just go and put it into a comic form, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like a thing that would be in a comic that is a thing. It doesn't expose me to any like new ideas or style or anything like that. So I was just like, oh, it's good, right? But I didn't like buy the comics or anything.
Mhm.
I read my friends' comics when they had them, but I didn't like go to the shop and buy them. It was like was not like I don't know, it just wasn't my jam.
Huh.
But then Vader Zim came out, and I was like, I didn't know he did it, and I was like, I feel like it's weird to give that guy a children's cartoon.
It's like, oh yeah,
But
check
then I
this
was like,
out.
wow, I was like, better than his other stuff. It's
Uh-huh.
like he's better with constraints, apparently, which is
Who
kind
knew?
of weird. Yeah, some things are like that though. It's like they're almost better with certain constraints.
Yeah.
Like it forces them to be a little more clever when they don't have the. I can't. There's a few shows that I had in mind, like when this has come up before, but I can't remember what they are off the top of my head. But
Yeah, the restriction or like censorship and all that stuff to be clever enough to work around it to tell a joke still. I think that breeds creativity
Mhm.
rather than just saying it like you have to be clever with it.
yeah, I mean, it's just different avenues. I think it just depends on what it is. Like the best
Got
example is
desperate prints. What?
Yeah.
Fingerprints.
Prince.
No, fingerprints. No.
Mm-mm. uh, Well, like the you can see the both sides of that coin with like Curb and Seinfeld. One is a network television show,
Mhm.
and then you just took that network television show and got rid of the constraints. So it's like the humor is different for those reasons. Like, so it can be different. It can be funny in a different way than Seinfeld can. But I don't think it's. I don't think Curb is as good as Seinfeld, which is weird because usually if you have a rated PG movie and you have a rated R movie and that's all you know about them, like which one is better? You're just like the rated R movie is better because it has fewer constraints, but not always true apparently. In Yonan Vasquez's case, apparently you need but you have that level of crazy that guy has in his fucking head.
Yeah.
Like you got to wrangle some of it in.
Uh-huh.
If you don't wrangle some of that crazy in, like it's just not as palatable. You just go like, whoa, Jesus.
Yeah, and this is earlier work too, so he probably didn't. Well, you could tell through the comics throughout the years of him writing that comic how it got fleshed out in his mind. The artwork got a lot more tighter,
Mhm.
and storytelling got a lot more crisper to it.
Yeah, it's the same thing that
It's not
happened.
just mayhem. Now it became like it molded itself to a story.
Yeah, it gets more cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same thing is true with Dave Sim and Cerebus. Like you watch the evolution of like the art gets cleaner, the storylines and the characters get more developed, and there's more of an arc to all of it after say the second phone book or so. Like it evolves a lot. And so that's just and then sometimes like in his case it's like evolved too much. Like he just went too far and had too much creativity and he just went back off the rails again. It's like, oh yeah, I just it's a arc of a thing.
Yeah, it's like a Michael Bay thing. It's like, right, like we talked about this at nauseum, but it's like the whole him working with Spielberg for the first Transformers movie kind of just constrained him in a way where it's like, this is the way that you tell a story. Do it this way. It'll be good. Trust me. It was like, okay, boss, I got it. Did a good job. It was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take the reins off a little bit. You've been doing good. Do your thing.
Just like a mad dog on a leash.
Yeah.
Snaps off. I murder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's just some people are that way, I guess. Some artists are better with constraints. It's like everybody kind of shits on producers and how much they like murder movies and stuff, but sometimes good producers do a good job of like kind of tamping that shit down. Do a good job of balancing the like allowing the director to have artistic creativity over the film, but not allowing them to have full creativity because otherwise you'd get things like David Lynch's 9-hour Dune. Nobody wants to watch that shit. So it's like, like this is back before the TV shows on that shit though. You could have done a television show, right? So it would have been fine. But producers contribute something, especially if that's why a lot of producers used to be directors because they kind of
all the good ones, yes.
The good ones,
yeah.
They respect that.
They're artists.
Yeah, they respect that process.
They know the art. They're not a pencil pusher.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like bureaucrats essentially is what
Pretty
a
much.
producer is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't matter to me who a producer on a film is typically. But if you just work the other way and you just went and like looked at the catalog of work of some people that are producers, and some people are good producers but not good directors, like a George Lucas. I think Steven Spielberg is a better producer than he is director. I think the films that he produces generally get better results than the movies he directs. I don't know that he's directed a good movie since like Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever.
Spielberg?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched any Spielberg movies in a long time.
No, neither.
Adventures of Tintin?
I didn't see that.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one.
I didn't see that. But yeah, I don't remember the last.
I really love that. When it was on when they showed Adventures of Tintin on HBO, I loved that show.
I didn't watch it.
You never watched it at all?
Mm-mm.
Read the comics?
I've read some of the comics, but I've never actually watched the movie or the TV show. So.
Speaking of comics, just finished Loki. Pretty good.
Oh, that's a show.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like the gateway into the next phase. You see where they're going with like a lot of the MCU stuff on television, there's now you're seeing where all those things are converging to. What's happening in that? Was it Phase 4 or something like that?
I don't know anymore.
Oh, okay.
Phase 8 on a side. It's like just like I don't know.
Umlaut,
Fucking
at sign,
whatever, yeah.
hash browns.
Ampersand, just on every fucking network imaginable. So yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I take it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that certain franchises have a clear vision of what they want to do, and unlike Star Wars, they just didn't know what the. I am surprised. I was reading they had no idea what they're gonna do when they had like, oh, we're doing 3 new movies. Oh, you have a story with it? Yeah, sure. There's gonna be some lightsabers. There's gonna be some of the Force. Some
Stormtroopers.
Yoda.
Those are still things, right?
Yeah. RoboCop. We're gonna have RoboCop.
None of this sounds. So we're gonna put the Mandalorian in it.
What? Oh! Guess what? Baby Yoda. All sins are forgiven.
Or whatever he is. I don't know.
Grogu.
I don't know. What is he? They explain it in the second season. I never watched the second season of that show.
They explain his name. They don't explain what he is, which is good. I think they should just leave it alone. Does anybody really care what his species is or whatever? Does anybody care?
Yes. Star
Why?
Wars nerds care. They need an exposition for fucking everything.
It's an ancient.
Moreover,
species.
what I find weird is why does he wear a thing that looks just like what Yoda wears? They all dress the same?
Sure.
I don't know.
Oh.
Baby Yoda. I don't know. Fucking Pogues or whatever they are. What are they called?
Oh yeah, the penguin thingies.
I don't know what they are. Whatever they are, they're cute, but
yeah.
Apparently they're the new generation of Ewoks, where some people hate them, and some people are like, "Oh, those are cool."
They're just a thing in the background. It's not like they're not like. Yeah, they show up once in a while, but it's just a background thing. They don't have speaking roles. They don't do stuff.
I don't know. Apparently, people hate them. Some people hate.
It's
them.
not like Admiral Akbar was like fucking fighting Sith lords too. It's like, it's a trap.
I don't know. Yeah, people want that shit. I don't know. Why do they want exposition? It's anytime you try to get like.
I like them. I like the mystery. Why don't people just leave it alone?
Yeah, I mean, do you need to go back and watch X-Men Origins Wolverine again and like figure out why you don't fucking like open that can of worms? This fucking movie is stupid.
It's so fucking dumb.
As it turns out, like his whole backstory just ended like 2 days before the first X-Men movie. It's like, oh, what a coincidence! Like, his whole backstory is gonna take us right up to the moment where he like met fucking Professor X or whatever.
Yep, pretty much.
God, what a fucking train wreck. God, it was like, yeah, I don't know. I think they just thought that like how yoked Hugh Jackman was just gonna distract everybody from how bad that movie was.
Look at the muscles.
Yeah, man, muscles. I think he skipped leg day, but
yeah. How much you think you can bench, bro?
It's like Jesus. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't. Fuck, man. Just kind of goes back like Star Wars franchise. Like, is this done? Like, is this?
I gotta say, like Terminator has to be like the worst franchise ever, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, after the second one, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but there's 2 fucking damn fine movies.
Sure, but it's like, okay, just leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Hey, what?
No one wants to know. There's lots of loopholes. We don't care. Just leave it alone.
I think the Fast and the Furious series is the worst series.
No, but when you're here, your family though. Come on.
That's Olive Garden.
What are you talking about?
You're thinking of Olive Garden.
But he lives a life quarter mile at a time.
He does. He's a quarter mile at a time. It's about family. Didn't that character die? Yeah, no, we didn't. We got rid of that. She's not dead.
Yeah, they're apparently they retconned a lot of things in the last movie.
They retcon everything.
Han's back. I've never seen the movie, but apparently Han's back. They killed him. They did like a time thing where they brought Han and then they killed Han, and for some reason Han's alive again. Oh yeah, that time you saw me die in that car, it wasn't me, bro.
It's just. Can you think of a series that's come more off the rails than that one? It was a movie about street racing. Let me take that back. It was Point Break, but with cars.
Yeah.
The first one.
Uh-huh.
And now I don't know what the fuck it is. Apparently, it's basically like I'm just waiting for it to merge with the MCU. That's what it's gonna do because they're basically all
Yeah,
just
so that was my prediction.
It's all superheroes now.
Family.
It's just like family. It's like just getting so ridiculous. That has to be the worst franchise.
Transporter's pretty fucking bad.
I only saw the first two, and man, it was so bad. How many of them are there now?
I don't know. It was like 3 or 4, maybe.
Yeah, but quantity wins, right? Because there's like 9 Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah, they had some pretty good ones in the middle.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
they haven't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they have not.
Fast 5 was really good.
I never saw it, but no,
Fast
it was.
Furious, that was great. I liked it a lot.
It was not.
Yeah, it was.
Nope. I don't have it in me.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it, so you don't know. You don't even know. This guy doesn't even know. This guy's faking it.
You can't just like
fake hater.
You can't
fake
put
hater.
a good movie in the middle of like just walls of shit on the other side, and if there has any continuity in it, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, so
but there's still good movies in the middle of it.
I don't know. It's just I can't think of a worse franchise than that. It's like just Transformers maybe. Transformers
is bad.
And it was just like if you look at them all like
the Justice League series, whatever that fucking shit show that is.
But is it a franchise? Yeah, there's only 2 movies really.
But there's like surrounding movies around it, like supporting movies.
But that's like it's a universe of film.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not a film franchise per se. So you have to say like the Avengers is a franchise, and Justice League is a franchise. So the Avengers is a franchise. You look at how many Avengers movies are there? 4?
3. 4. 3?
4.
3.
Avengers, Age of Ultron, Endgame, Infinity War. Right?
Those are like part 1 and 2. I guess you can make those 2 movies.
Well, they have different names.
Yeah.
And they're separate films that released at the box office separately. So, yeah, I count them. So 4. So that's like its own franchise. It's like in the Marvel MCU. It's in the MCU. But it's its own franchise. Like there's a Captain America franchise, there's an Iron Man franchise, which the Iron Man franchise seems to be dead. It's gone, right? They're not making any more of those.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so
good. They should just like leave it alone.
Yeah, the third one wasn't even good.
Just leave it alone.
But like you make 9 terrible fucking movies. And like or you make 8 terrible movies and 1 respectively decent movie. And same thing with the Transformers. How many Transformers movies are there? There's like the first one was like, oh, okay. I mean, you know, it's not like really what I thought it would be, but like, yeah, okay, Optimus Prime is all right, I guess. Whatever, Alien.
Actually, that Bumblebee movie is kind of redeeming. Like it came back to what the first one was. So I enjoyed it. For what it is, it's just a big popcorn Hollywood movie with a robot.
But that almost seems like it doesn't seem like part of the Transformers franchise so much as it seems like an aside from it. The way the
side adventure.
Yeah, the way the like Rogue One. I mean, I guess it's technically part of the Star Wars series, but it's not really because it's kind of a standalone film. So it doesn't really like fit into the continuity of the
Rogue One?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, ish.
They just kind of expanded on what it was.
Right, but you don't need to have seen any other Star Wars movies to watch that movie and make sense. Not really. You can watch it and it all in its own right and it's all self-contained. Now the things that happen there, they fit in and they slot into the greater Star Wars universe and kind of like, oh, that's what they were doing. They were doing this thing that's the thing in the other movie, and this character was that character who was related to this guy and like this dude or whatever. But like you can just watch it like never having seen a Star Wars movie before and keep up and follow along and know what's going on. So I kind of see that's like how the Bumblebee movie is. Because it's not even branded a Transformers movie.
I think it's like on the top. Transformers presents the Bumblebee movie.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if I would count that as part of the. I mean, I guess it technically is, but it's like an aside. Like the only thing that's good is the aside thing that's not really part of the.
Yeah, he came for a turkey dinner, but he's like the cranberry the best.
Yeah. Like actually, these cheddar biscuits at Red Lobster are pretty good.
What, you don't like this rubbery lobster? Oh man,
the cheddar biscuits are good.
Yeah, pretty good. I got woke on those a couple years ago.
I've only been to Red Lobster a couple times, and like that was what I took away. I was like, these are good, and then I was like, oh, the food is not good. Like, it's not. good at all. I went there one time with an ex-girlfriend. She's like, "Oh, you don't like Red Lobster?" I'm like, "I don't think so, but I'll try it, I guess." I was like, "Nope, I
What's the
do not."
other? What is the other like fast food fish place? It was Long John Silver.
Long John Silver's.
All right. There's like I saw this theory where what businesses do you see all the time? You think it's kind of just like more of a money laundering scheme? Because it's like the example I saw was the mattress firm.
Yeah.
And they were pointing out there's like sometimes in a city there's like 3 or 4 within like a 2-mile radius. Like who's buying mattresses? Whenever you go to one or you drive past one, there's no one in there. Parking lot's empty, no one's in there.
It's a big mattress, bro.
Yeah. So it's a big money laundering scheme, basically.
There's this
Same thing with like Long John Silver's. Like, who goes here? Who wants to smell this fried up food? You know that shit's gonna make you sick.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, it's verbal meme time.
Okay.
Right, I can't make memes because I don't know Photoshop or Illustrator or anything like that. I can't do that.
You're an old now.
I could learn, but I just don't see to what make stupid memes. It's verbal meme time.
Okay.
So you remember the show Deadliest Warrior?
Sure.
So they would always do like, it's Shaka Zulu versus William Wallace, right? They have their names. So I had this idea for like this meme. It was just a Deadliest Warrior, and it just had like the Wiener Schnitzel guy and like the Taco Bell Chihuahua, like
wow.
the Deadliest Warriors.
Yeah.
Who's worse?
That should be on the tier list.
Yeah.
We should make a tier list for. They probably have a tier list for like best like fast food mascots.
Yeah.
Who's S tier?
I just meant the food being deadly.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know what is he called? The desirable one,
The chosen
the
one.
chosen
The chosen ones.
Like,
Hey man. I mean, don't eat man.
yeah, I don't. Fast food mascots. Ronald McDonald has got to be like the creepiest.
Oh yeah. Did you see like the first iteration of Ronald McDonald? What did he look like? He looked like a garbage person. He was literally a garbage person. He had garbage on top of him. Instead of like the red nose, it was a fucking cup.
Really?
Yeah, it was
Wow.
like a child cup, like like little Dixie cups on his face.
That's
He was
weird.
like a garbage person. He just came like Oscar the Grouch, but in human form.
Yeah. There's like, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah. Hey y'all.
Well, it's weird that
Cheeseburgers.
Ronald McDonald has a whole entourage, right? It's a whole fucking entourage of like
Who fucking thought of that
the
stupid shit?
Hamburglar
Yeah.
and fucking Mayor McCheese and Grimace. Like, what is he?
So it's like the hamburger, like a kidnapper / like sex trade person, because like the Mayor McCheese, he's a cheeseburger, right?
Yeah.
He's a hamburglar. So does he steal like the children, like the French fry guy? Does he steal those people too, or what? They're afraid of him.
I see. It's like a weird thing in the universe where it's like Mayor McCheese, who is a hamburger, and Fry Guy is like a fry guy.
And he like,
But they're
genocide for my people.
But they still eat the food that they are made of, which is
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
And then no one knows what Grimace is even supposed to be.
yeah.
And is he retarded? He seems kind of like maybe he's not, because he can't really talk. He just kind of grunts and smiles and like flops around like a big weirdo. So it's like, I don't know what he's supposed to be like some sort of Down syndrome dude that they keep around. Like, there you go. You just shovel all the scraps into him and get rid of it.
What's the weird thing with Sesame Street? Like either Snuffleupagus or Big Bird's made up. Like only one character sees them. Like, and sometimes the children, but not the other characters.
I've never heard this.
Oh yeah, there's like one of those two are made up. Like one's a figment of their imagination. I'm
If I
not
had
sure.
to guess, it would be Snuffleupagus, because what the hell is that? What is he?
Mastodon? I don't know. With no tusks.
Yeah, I don't know what he's supposed to be. At least you know what Big Bird is. Big Bird is a bird.
Real big bird.
Yeah. I never understood what Big Bird was supposed to be, a boy bird or a girl bird.
Yeah, it's like an asexual thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, that's fine. It's just, but like, but it's supposed to be a bird, right? Birds have gender, or they have sexes.
Well, I always assumed it was a boy because like in the Philippines, like that's like they don't take your dick out or so like show your bird. You gotta take your bird out.
Oh, yeah.
Your dick, right? So I was like, okay, big bird. He's a big dick.
He's got the big dick energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought it was a boy too, but then maybe that was just because I was a boy, and it
Mhm.
was like, oh, it's Big Bird,
Yeah.
right? Like, but then like when you look at it now as an adult, you're like, oh, I guess I could see how it would be a. But maybe they did it on purpose, so it was like kids could just imagine it to be
Whatever you
a
want.
boy or a girl.
Yeah.
I mean, because technically you don't really like. To me, Oscar the Grouch is a male, but that's just because I associate Oscar with being a guy name and
Yeah.
also being dirty and garbage monster is like a guy thing.
I got a UTI.
But like Grover, like that's a pretty
Yeah, what's
Check.
what's Elmo? Was it
Yeah.
El-
they're
Are they
pretty
just asexual?
they're pretty gender neutral names,
Yeah.
right? Grover, Elmo.
Yeah.
Like didn't we have this debate about whether Nermal from Garfield was a boy or a girl?
Oh, I saw that was a girl.
And I always thought it was a boy.
Oh, really?
I just thought Nermal was cute, and so they just gave him really long eyelashes so he would be cute. But like, I don't see anything about Nermal being a girl. But I don't know why. I just always assumed Nermal was a boy, and for some reason, yeah, like I didn't watch too much of that show because it's kind of boring and stupid. But because everything Garfield related is boring and stupid.
Who's the guy? Bill Murray.
Mhm.
Apparently, he thought another director was directing the Garfield movie, so he
Mhm.
said yes automatically, and he was the wrong director. He's like, ah, shit.
You should know that the Garfield movie wouldn't be good though. The thing is, though, is I want to know who the director is. Some director he's always wanted to work on. Martin Scorsese's directing it.
Ah, Marty.
Man,
Guess what? It's gonna be 5 hours long.
gritty.
You're gonna be wearing a mocap suit alongside with De Niro.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, that's funny though. But yeah, I just figured Bill Murray just had no fucks to give.
Yeah, well, like, what does he care?
Yeah, he's like he didn't win an Oscar, and so he's just not gonna win one. So he's just I'll just do whatever now. I don't care. I'm done trying to win one. He was pretty mad when he didn't win.
For what movie?
Lost in Translation.
Oh, yeah.
He was up for that, and he didn't win, and he was very disappointed. I think. I don't remember who did win, but he probably should have won. That's probably the best movie he's been in, and he's been in lots of fucking good movies. So he probably thought like, well, I'll just I've done a lifetime's worth of great movies at this point, and they'll just give me one because I'm Bill Murray, and then he's just kind of started becoming a caricature of himself. I think.
Yeah, like, there's like this cult following of Bill Murray.
Yeah. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I like Bill Murray. Like, I like his movies. But yeah, that phenomenon is really weird to me.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's really weird. I don't get what it is. Especially because it seems predominantly to be among people that aren't really old enough to have enjoyed his movies when they were like his good movies when they were new.
Mm.
It's like it all seemed to start like when he was in that Zombieland movie. And so, which was a movie for people that are like our age to slightly younger.
Yeah, the whole with what's her face? Emma Stone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he just has my funny bone. I'm like, why would he? I don't know. I don't understand it.
I don't either. It's weird.
Yeah.
But Bill, just like you were talking about before, Bill Murray being some weird thing that he is now does not ruin me watching Ghostbusters.
Mhm.
To actually use the example that you used, Ghostbusters specifically, is still very good. Except that one weird scene that they didn't cut for some reason about him having the dream about the sexy ghost.
Oh,
You
I don't
remember-
remember that.
There's like this weird. Okay, so they filmed this whole sequence where like there's some like plot where they're like in some old home or something, and like there's like some ghost that like ends up like I don't know, like giving Egon a Hummer or something.
I haven't heard that one in a long time.
It's like,
Hummer. I haven't heard that one. Oh wow! Whoa! What the fuck? That took me back.
Okay.
I haven't heard that one in a long time.
Okay.
The kind of good ones, Grandpa.
But anyway, so there was this
I
whole
used to make whoopee with your grandma.
There's
She
this
used to give me a
whole-
Hummer too.
this whole scene.
I don't know what the fuck. Okay. Okay, go on. What else? I'm fucking got. You go against a Hummer.
I don't get why that's so funny. But
Just brought me back. I haven't heard that word in like 15 years, dude.
yeah, it was like I felt that way when someone.
Oh,
What word did they use? They used the word.
oh.
It was either like.
Did she give you fellatio?
It was like I said. I said.
Ugh.
I said the word trim to someone. It's like, are you trying to get some trim?
Uh-huh.
They were like, damn, dude. Like,
What the fuck?
He's like, who says that anymore? What's this, 1976? And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I don't know. Like, what do people say now?
Uh-huh.
But like, yeah, someone said the word like muff or beaver or
Oh,
something. I was like,
jeez.
man, I haven't heard anybody say muff or beaver in like a long time.
Yeah, those things still exist.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. What do you say? Um,
Oh, fuck.
okay.
I don't know. That's so funny to me. All right.
I don't remember what I was saying.
Yeah, Egon was getting a Hummer.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But it's so like there was like this whole thing about them like rooting out this ghost and how they figure out that there's this ghost is that like it's like a sexy ghost and whatever. But like they had to cut it from the movie for time in the same way they had to cut like all the exposition about Winston's character.
Oh, yeah. He was supposed to be a badass.
Yeah, they cut all that exposition out.
I was like, yeah, we just hired this black dude.
Yeah. And so they cut this whole scene out. But then for some reason, the director or the producer or whoever felt that they still needed the scene with a ghost fucking, blowing the guy. And so they just like have him have like a dream about it. He just goes to sleep and then he just has this dream where this ghost gives him sexy time.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wakes up and he's like, oh, that was weird. It's like, yes, it fucking was weird.
That was weird.
And shoehorned into the film for whatever fucking reason.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know that, like, if you watched it streaming or whatever, it would still be on there.
I don't know.
But it's just like a really weird thing. If they just like they had to have this like ghost sex scene in the movie, I guess.
We gotta have sexy ghosts, guys.
I guess. How does that work? Well, they address that in What We Do in the Shadows, right? With that guy, the version of Laszlo comes back, and he was like mid climax, and he needs Laszlo's fleshy hands to finish him off.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good episode.
Yeah, it was. So.
Hummer.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, got any cool stories?
No, I don't have any news this week.
No news?
I didn't read any news this week.
Fuck.
Nope, nothing.
Nothing in the press?
Not that I can think. Not that struck me anyway. Most of it was just noise.
All right, let me pull something up. Real cool news, guys.
Let me whip this out.
Oh. Oh, come on.
Give it to me, baby.
Let's see. NPR. This is NPR.
This is NPR.
The Philippines wins its first Olympic gold after nearly 100 years of trying.
And table
Number
tennis.
one, weightlifter. I can't pronounce her first name. Diaz made history Monday, winning the Philippines' first gold medal in Summer Olympics in Tokyo. The country has been trying to reach the podium's top spot for nearly 100 years. It sent its first Olympic delegation to Paris for the 1924 Games. Diaz won gold in 55 kilogram category of women's weightlifting, and in the process also set an Olympic record with a combined total weight of 224 kilograms across 2 successful lifts. Go Philippines.
For some reason, when you started it, I thought it was going to be a dude.
Uh-uh.
Well, actually, here is the question. Is it a dude? Is it a transgender dude?
No, it's a
Because
girl.
Okay.
Biological female.
Okay. I don't know what the Olympics regulations on that shit are. If there are any.
Yeah, you do. Why don't you just make it clear cut? It's sex. That's it. You compete in that. And you drug test.
Because
Set.
It's just...
That's what it is.
That's not,
Right? It's not about gender, it's about your sex. Right?
I don't know. Is it? I thought it was about the capabilities of being able to compete and advantages that men have athletically over women. And whether you can mitigate those with hormones and all sorts of shit. And I don't know. Maybe you can. I don't know. Doesn't seem like you'd be able to, but people get mad.
I don't know.
People get mad.
Yeah.
They get real mad.
Yep.
So yeah, go Philippines.
Yay.
The Filipini.
Can't mess it up. You already know it.
I already know what
Filipino.
Filipino.
There you go.
Filipina.
Yeah.
But plural would be Filipinas.
Filipinos.
But what about plural women?
Filipinas.
Filipinas,
Mm-hmm.
not Filipini.
No.
I don't understand that. Like, why is it like? I don't get like the whole different gender endings for like. Is it just for? Is it for languages that have genders?
Yeah, there's languages that gender speech, like Spanish. Romantic languages do this.
Right.
So it would follow the same rules.
But correct me if I'm wrong. The words themselves, like table either has a masculine, feminine, or neuter ending.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with whether the table has the qualities of a man or a woman or anything like that. They just arbitrarily choose it, like for something that we're typically, like, you could conceivably have a word that is something for a man, like a condom, right? And it could have a feminine ending on it, even though it's a thing only for dudes. It's a condom. It could have a feminine ending on it for whatever reason. It has nothing to do with the properties of the thing being masculine or feminine. It's just the endings they choose for things. Yet when it comes to people, obviously it does, so I don't understand why it breaks that rule. It's what's confusing for me. Does that make sense?
No.
So, okay. Every word in a language that has gendered things has a gender ending, right?
We can.
It either has a neuter or feminine or masculine ending, right? But like, let's say in what's the prevailing language in the Philippines?
You know it.
Tagalog, that's how you say it? Tagalog. So let's say in that language, chair has a masculine ending, right? Chero or whatever. So, that masculine ending in no way is saying that the chair is for men, made by men, in any way is associated with men. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's not like saying guns are for men or masculine and baking implements are for women, so they have. It's not like that. It's just seems to be just someone just fucking threw a dart against a board and it either landed on one side or the other. So, given that words that have gendered endings don't seem to have to do with actual biological sex or gender in any way, why is there a specific ending for people that's based on their biological sex or gender? That's what's confusing to me. Why wouldn't it just be a gender neuter word that describes them?
Well, like, the thing is, like, oh, is that Filipino person? They just say Filipina. I just know it's a female. Filipino, it's a male. I don't understand what the confusion is for people. We're having a gender speech for that.
Well, right. I'm not saying it doesn't make it more clear, right?
Yeah, it's like kind of that whole thing of like Latinx, like people that are from like Latin America is like, yeah, that's bullshit. We're not doing that. we already have speech this way. Why are we changing it to make it neutral?
Well, moreover, why the X? Why not just say Latin? They're a Latin person, right? There's no gender ending for American. You don't say Americana, Americano, right?
Yeah, because the English is not done like that. It's not genderized like that.
But what I'm saying is that the genderizing of stuff doesn't have to do with like biological sex or anything anyway. So it kind of breaks that rule regardless if the language is gendered or not, is what I'm saying. It seems like a weird exception as it is, and I've never been able to understand why. I think it's weird that words are gendered, period. Like, I mean, I get why you would gender Latina versus Latino. That makes sense because it's like, that's a woman and that's a man. right? Waiter, waitress, right? I mean, that
So what's the confusion with like Filipinos and Filipinas then?
the confusion is when you gender a language, and that language and the words in the language, them being gendered, has nothing to do with the qualities of the thing because they're objects.
Yeah, but you don't have any problem when you said Latino, Latinas. You don't have a problem with that. But when you're saying Filipinas and Filipinos, there's a problem now.
No,
I don't understand what the
I didn't say there was like a
distinction is.
problem with either. There's no
No,
problem.
because you're saying because I was confused on that part.
Oh, there's no problem. I just it,
I was
it
like,
just
why is there a confusion? They're just male and female. Why wouldn't you like, oh, it's a he, it's a she?
no, that makes perfect sense. But like, but to act as though it follows the gendering customs of the language isn't really true, is what I'm getting at. Like, it makes sense to gender people, but I guess the anomaly for me is like gendering words. Period is weird. Why is a table masculine or feminine? That's really weird to me. And so you're saying that tables, something without gender, the word that describes it, gets a gender.
Yeah, I guess it's from the speaker or who's using it would genderize the object.
No, I don't think that. I don't think it's subjective to the speaker. I think that.
I
like,
think it is.
I think it's in the language. It's just like table, masculine ending. Belt sander, feminine ending. Like, and
Or
those
like when you speak hablo, habla, who is speaking, male or female?
right.
So they would change it.
That's cohesive.
Yeah.
Right. In the same way that there are formal introductions and informal introductions.
Yeah. But they do that. They do change the gender of things for who's speaking or who's using the item.
Oh, they do, because some languages aren't this way. I don't know about Spanish or whatever, but like certain things, I don't think Spanish is this way. I think we should ask Beto. He speaks Spanish, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's just like a solid static thing. Like mouse is a male noun. It's the male ending, and if you were talking about an animal, cat, right? Gato, right? That's the neuter ending. But there are other words, I think, that like for the animal, that's like a feminine ending, and it doesn't have anything to do with whether the cat is a male or a female cat. It's just the word itself is feminine or masculine. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, and if it is contextual based on who's speaking, then that makes much more sense.
I think it matters who's speaking.
But somebody told me
who
before,
you're
like, no,
speaking
some
about.
words are just masculine words.
I think some of them are just that, and you have to change the language around it. But in general, I think they do change it.
Okay, that makes more sense.
So I was like confused of like, why are we talking about?
Because yeah, somebody I don't remember what language it was. But they were like, no, just some. It might have been like, I don't think it was German, but they were like, that's just a masculine noun. It's always a masculine noun. Like, so it doesn't change based on like who owns it or anything like that. No, it's just a masculine. It's always a masculine noun. Like, that's really weird that it just has like its own gender. Like, how can an item have a gender?
I think it's like Norwegian too. They used to have like male, female, neutral, and then they've skewed away from genderizing stuff. Everything is just like they. So everything's gender neutral there, I think.
That creates confusion, though. This actually happened to me when I was in Michigan because I was talking to my buddy Dennis, and he was talking about somebody who prefers gender-neutral pronouns, which, whatever, that's fine. But he kept talking about them, and he kept saying they, and I kept having to stop him and be like, wait a minute. I thought that you were like saying this person is an asshole, which is actually what the story was something about a person being an asshole.
They are an asshole.
And he was just like, yeah, they are. And I was like, okay, but like you keep using the they in circumstances where I was like, are you just trying to be like respectful of their like, because you're really confusing the shit out of me, man. You're giving me the impression that there's a group of people that we're talking about. You're just talking about one person, right? He's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, can you stop doing that? Like, there's no one else in the car with us. And like, I'm not trying to be like anti-PC, but you're really just confusing the fuck out of me. Like, I don't understand like who, like I always get on people about this, like playing the pronoun game. Like, and I catch myself doing it sometimes, but you'll be like, yeah. So I was like, I went down to the shop and Chris was there and Kyle was there and he was like, yeah, will you get me a soda? And so I was like, yeah, for sure. And then he like went outside and you're like, wait, back up. Like, you're using he to refer to Kyle and Chris both, and I don't know who's doing what in the story. It's confusing to me. And so like you need to delineate who's who instead of playing the pronoun game. Right? Or like they do it in movies. They always say, come take a look. You gotta come take a look at this, or you should see this, right? like they can't just tell the person what it is. Like there's a problem with the reactor,
Yeah.
right? You gotta come take a look at this. It's like this is just like a generic, like a vague, demonstrative pronoun in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And no one in the film's ever like, dude, just like what is it? Like, can you just tell me what you're?
Hey, you know what? Guess.
There's a problem.
Uh-huh.
With
And
something mechanical.
And
Okay.
And
It's essential to the. Is it the core?
no.
Is it
dumb?
Is it
Dumb.
But they always do this in movies, right? Because they just want to have like this quick cut scene of them, but like, yeah, you're right. You were right to bring this to me, or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, couldn't you just be like, man, the reactor core is melting down. Come as soon as you can. Like, you better come take a look at this, Sarge, or
Yeah,
whatever. Like, it's in everything. I don't get it. It's like, why are you? Especially when you have it, it's like in the movies, it'll be like some comms people on the they're like, their job is fucking efficient communication, and they're just using these vague pronouns for shit. Like, no one's ever like, man, just tell me what the fucking thing is, so I can decide whether I need to come down there, right?
Trouble. Big
I'm
trouble,
in
sir.
command. You're an engineer. I'm a captain.
You
Tell
gotta
me,
go see this.
Yeah, tell me what I
I
need to
can't
know.
because plot.
Yeah. What is it? Well, it's just better if you look.
It's just better if you just like shuffle down the hallway in an urgent manner.
Right, you need to like we need to show it on the screen, so it's like, I can't just tell you that there's a problem, because it's just easier if I show you. And sometimes in the movie it is easier, it's like
You think Aaron Sorkin would have a problem with that? He's like, oh, I can't walk down halls and talk at the same time. This is fucking bullshit.
yeah, he does love that. And they're not even that long of hallways. Maybe that's how he got to the whole thing of like we gotta cram like 500 words of dialogue in like 40 feet.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine how big a script is.
Fast talking, high trousers.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, see?
yeah, it's like that's. I mean, I like some Aaron Sorkin stuff. The West Wing. I will say that I don't know if it was like an Aaron Sorkin decision, an actor decision, or whatever. But if you ever watch The West Wing,
I've seen 2 episodes.
go watch some episodes of The West Wing and take note of how Martin Sheen puts on his coat. It's like the most baller ass way to put on a fucking coat you've ever seen. No, it's like it's hard to explain. It's like he grabs it up by like one sleeve and like slings it over, and then he's just like, and he just like puts it, and like he always does it that way.
Doesn't Sherlock do that too?
I don't know if Sherlock does it. Maybe, but like it's
Like Cumberbatch does that. That's like his move.
it's just like it's this fucking Martin Sheen. Like if that was like an actor decision, it's like a signature move. It's like he just puts on his coat in an awesome way.
Yeah, sign Miami thing.
Yeah, that guy.
I guess he lost his head.
He only really ever takes off his or puts on his glasses. Takes off his glasses.
Puts it on.
Puts it on.
Yeah, because he's like in a scene with a dead body. He's like, huh, looks like he lost his head.
I know, and it's like, why does he? It's almost like he knows the beginning of the episode. He doesn't do it the rest of the show, where he like puts his glasses on in dramatic fashion.
Or there's like the meme with him, like it's a drawn cartoon, and it's him wearing glasses and he puts on glasses. Or he takes off the glasses, there's glasses underneath.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I wasn't sure if it was because I thought it was the meme. It was he takes them off.
Yeah,
Like, it's like that. Yeah, that kick up of that Who song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, what you been watching lately? Anything good? You got any more news first?
Oh yeah. Justice Department seizes rare ancient tablets illegally auctioned to Hobby Lobby. Really weird.
It's weird that Hobby Lobby would be in the business of bidding on something like that.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. After the first Gulf War in 1991, thousands of objects were looted, including cuneiform tablets from archaeological sites in Iraq. And it goes on, and basically it was like during the war, all these things were like stolen and then auctioned off, and like paperwork was like forged to say this is like, oh, we got it from this guy and this guy, and the DOJ. I guess Hobby Lobby made like a fucking like a museum of all this historical stuff. I don't know if they're like hardcore Christian groups or something like that in the Hobby Lobby Corporation or something like that.
Well, I think so because they had that whole like Supreme Court case about, what was it, abortion or gay marriage or something, one of those things.
Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was about I'm trying to remember if it was abortion or gay marriage. I think it was abortion.
Huh.
Where it was like about whether employee medical benefits should cover abortions or contraception. That's what it was. It wasn't abortion, it was contraception. And so they maintained that their insurance would not and should not be required to, because they have a religious objection to funding contraception.
Very
and,
weird.
And so, and then other people said, like, well, no, you can't, like, discriminate coverage based on whatever. And so, yeah, it was a Supreme Court decision which came down on against Hobby Lobby. I don't know the outcome of that case. That's really weird that I don't. Probably because I'm not in the business of having my insurance, which I don't have, cover my contraception, which I don't take.
Oh, I thought you already have insurance.
I do. Yeah, I do now.
Hey,
So,
hey.
Hey.
Never gonna use it.
Thank you, Acceleride 360, our sponsor for this video.
Air Kit, brought to you by Air Kit. Huh?
She don't work at Air Kit anymore.
What? We're sponsored though.
No.
We're in a roundabout way. We are.
Okay, yeah, in a roundabout.
A roundabout way. Hey, Air Kit.
Yeah, Air Kit.
Hey, if you want to kit out your air,
I don't know what that
get Air Kit. What did they do?
Just what it sounds like. They make
Widgets?
packaged products for
Air.
flying. No, actually, they do like low code platform stuff. Yeah, it's not important.
Go check them out at airkit.net. .usegroup.
Sure.
Bang.
/ ampersand.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Hobby Lobby, yeah, I think they are a bunch of Christians. That's my point.
Uh-huh.
They're like up there with Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, we need some. Yeah, we need some tablets, bro. Give us some tablets. Epic of Gilgamesh. We got it. We got it. They have to give it back.
They had to give it back.
Yeah, they give all that shit back. Was resold several times before Hobby Lobby bought it in a private sale in 2014. Federal agents seized it from the store's museum in 2019 and is held by the Department of Homeland Security since.
Because all the terrorists were trying to get their hands on it.
It just sounds like an Indiana Jones ending.
Yeah.
It's like, we're working on it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Top men are working on it.
Top men. Yeah, that's really weird that they would be getting into the
It's like that famous comic book artist where he bought all those home run balls.
Todd McFarlane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like had like a roving museum for people to look at.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. Like,
Man, well,
why?
he's a shill, so who cares?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Holding.
No, I was right. Hobby Lobby did lose the case.
Hmm.
They ruled in favor of David and Barbara Green and their family. Oh, no. They ruled in favor of Hobby Lobby. They do not have to violate their faith or pay severe fines. So Hobby Lobby won the case.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know that, actually. I mean, I should have known what the outcome of the case was. But yeah, it's up there with the last 15, 20 years, probably the most landmark case, up there with the gay marriage ruling and the Citizens United, and it's the other big case that we've had in our lifetime that was like, oh my god, and everybody was really upset about it. But yeah,
I don't know.
I think that whole that case is what put in the public discourse the gay baker analogy, because that was the dumbed down version of the case at hand, right? Like, should a baker have to bake a cake for a gay wedding? Like, if they're morally opposed to it. And that was kind of their way of, I don't know who ever came up with that analogy, but I think that it was around the same time, like in 2013, 2014, 15, somewhere in there, when they were like, that was all in the public discourse, where it was like you would just hear this all the time about like talking about religious rights. And so yeah. But for some reason I was thinking they lost, but then I was like, but that doesn't seem right, because the law doesn't seem to be on the side of, the law doesn't seem to have changed on the side of Hobby Lobby losing. So that would be weird that they would have lost, and apparently they didn't. I was wrong. So but yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, they want to do some Indiana Jones shit and get some random art, I guess.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, gotta go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder about like those old artifacts and where they are. They can't just be all gone, right? Like,
Yeah.
you
Well,
got thieves doing thievy stuff, and
that's why that
black market things happen.
the Hellfish episode of The Simpsons is one of my favorite episodes.
Hellfish. Is it three-eyed fish? That thing?
No. Okay, so what happens is, I don't remember how it comes up, but as it turns out, you learn that Abe Simpson, Grandpa Simpson, was in a unit with Mr. Burns and a bunch of other guys in the Second World War.
Yeah.
And what happened is, during the Second World War, they like clear out some sort of like, I don't know, Nazi mansion or something, and there's all this art, tons and tons and tons of like art that the Nazis had confiscated. And the war ended, and they have this art, and it's worth like a fortune. And so the last of them were like dying off, and then it comes down to like Mr. Burns and Abe Simpson trying to like, they go on he takes Bart on this adventure with him to like get the art and recover it, so they can vast wealth and riches. And Mr. Burns is the bad guy because he's already rich, and like the Simpsons are trying to like get it or whatever. And it's just kind of got like that whole like same sort of like Indiana Jones intrigue about it. It's a good episode.
Yeah, I do remember it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Hellfish, what is that? And he's like, what do you think that is, boy? He's like, this all sounds like rubbish, Grandpa. He's like, what do you think that is? He's got the Hellfish tattoo. He's like, wrinkly rubbish. Stretches it out. It's like, fighting Hellfish is like the name of his unit. And you learn that's one of the early seasons, and you learn that like, it's the first time you learn that like, Abe Simpson used to be kind of like a badass when he was young. Like, it shows like Mr. Burns is like all like prim and proper and kind of a wuss in the war, and meanwhile someone throws a grenade in the bunker, and like Abe jumps on it with his helmet, like it blows him away.
Yeah,
it's like, he saves all these people and stuff. It's like, it's a.
Seems like it was kind of smacking of like that's where they got some of the stuff for the not the Winter Soldier, the First Avenger. Seems like.
Yeah,
seems like a common trope.
Yeah, pretty similar. So yeah, it was but yeah, it's like a real life version of that, but more corporate stuff and less kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. They had to give it all back. I'm not sympathetic to Hobby Lobby. I don't even that doesn't jibe to me. It's a really random and weird thing. It's I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I can't compute it in my head.
Why Hobby Lobby would have that?
Yeah, it'd be like if you found out Chick-fil-A were like smuggling diamonds or something. It'd be like,
yeah, blood diamonds. Like, we like it when there's more blood on these diamonds.
Blood diamonds.
When they have actual blood in them, we like it.
Yeah. It's like, it was so funny, man. I don't know if you ever bought a diamond before. I assume not.
No.
But man, they get really squirrely where you ask them where they source their diamonds from.
Canada. We get it from Canada.
They have to say where they get it. Well, they have, like, a lot of the places that get them from Canada, they advertise that. And, like, if they don't advertise, they have to tell you.
It's like, damn, oh, fuck.
And it's like,
no.
Yeah. I just asked.
Are you crossing your fingers? My fingers are itchy.
They get really squirrely. It was really fun. I just asked, kind of like, where do you guys get your diamonds from? They're like, well,
mushed mouth.
Some places,
Did they actually answer you?
Like, I can't even remember what her answer was. Just that she hemmed and hawed, and basically, in a roundabout way, said that there's basically no guarantee that like you're not getting some diamonds that are from Africa. And I was like, I read you loud and clear. Like,
Can I just get some lab-grown ones then?
Here are some pretty rocks that we found.
Yeah.
They're valuable because we say they are.
Uh-huh.
Like,
And apparently people just like don't want like lab-grown diamonds. Like I just want the blood in them.
I
This makes them
guess.
more precious. It's like it's the same thing.
Well, but that's like, but it's not the same thing because that's not what they want. They don't want the diamond. They want the
The blood,
they
sweat,
want the
tears,
fact that they're
lost
like
hands.
that they're like artificially inflated. It's like, why do people want Louis Vuitton bags that look just like $200 bags that you can buy from any fancy, somewhat French store or whatever Italian store? And but like this one, this Birkin bag is $10,000, and its material is really not any different than the material here.
Mhm.
This one's 10 grand. Why do you want the one that's 10 grand? It's like, it's because it's 10 grand.
Clout.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's
want
like, oh,
clout.
it's a real Birkin bag. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Real. From the store.
I did not know for the longest fucking time until like recently, probably the last year. I'd heard of Birkin bags, but I didn't know they're
Are they
actually
made by Birkenstocks?
no, they're actually named for Jane Birkin.
Who's that?
She's a super sexy actress. That's, I think, is like one of the sexiest actresses like ever. And apparently they are.
Have you seen Kate Beckinsale lately?
Yeah, I've seen Kate Beckinsale. That's why I said one of. I've showed I've shown you her before. You were just kind of nonplussed. Like, yeah, she's cute, I guess.
All right, she's no Kate Beckinsale. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. She does something to me. I don't know. She's super sexy. But apparently they're named after her.
Okay.
Didn't know that. But yeah, it's weird.
It's Jimmy Choo. Who's that guy?
Who is
Should I know that person?
who is that guy? I don't know. I hear that name.
This is a designer.
Yeah, is that what he is? I don't know.
Yeah. It's like the whole thing from like Back to the Future. Calvin. Huh? It's written on your underwear.
This broad.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, she doesn't do it.
Have you seen Kate Beckinsale?
you?
She's like a top, like Kate Beckinsale, like tomahawk dunk on that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's like clean and jerk that bitch. Bah, bah.
You're crazy. Oh, God, she's so fucking hot, dude.
Garbage, son.
Oh, whatever.
Come
All right.
on, bro. Hold up. Be thirst trapping on fucking
Dude,
Instagram.
I
man.
know what Kate Beckinsale looks like. I concede that she's incredibly attractive.
She's like the professor of hotness. Bam.
Yeah,
360 behind
but I
the
don't
back.
like you could say you prefer Kate Beckinsale to Charlize Theron, but you can't say Kate Beckinsale dunks on Charlize Theron in the hotness arena.
That's all preference, but I'm just saying that chick gets
That's
dunked on.
whatever. You're crazy.
Bah, bah, bah,
Fucking
bah.
crazy.
Bah.
It's like Audrey Hepburn, like she's pretty good. You know, like
Liz Taylor, you know, she's
no,
all right for her
Liz
own
Taylor's fine, I guess. Okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah, Liz Taylor's all time great, you know, but it just, you know, just no, like working backwards is a little hard. It's like, oh, that old lady.
Yeah, yeah. So you're like, what is this? Why is this? Why is this beanbag chair full of broken hammers and Crisco like so well regarded? You're like, oh, she used to be really attractive. I can see that now.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost
Yeah,
like
she's a pretty old lady, but it's like, okay, who's a pretty old lady?
yeah. I mean, I guess it's just like it's almost like when you see it was like doing it in reverse was like the opposite of when you're like, you know, he was kidnapped when he was 8 years old and he would be 21 now and here's what he would look like.
yeah.
But it was just like
Mongoloid.
Yeah. It looks like nobody did some age progression on that Haley Joel Osment kid to be like, oh, let's just kill him now before he gets old.
I imagine like the male version's Marlon Brando, right? You look at Marlon Brando, like Streetcar Named Desire. Look at that dude
Yeah.
versus like him in like was it Apocalypse Now?
Yeah.
This dude?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that'd be like the male equivalent. Like, ugh, this guy looks like a turd sandwich.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
pretty
maybe
fucking
Mel
rough.
Gibson.
Ooh. Brendan Fraser back again.
Yeah.
That guy looks like a Kirby ate him.
Because yeah, I remember saying I was talking with Diana about this because we were watching some movie at the shop and she was like, who the fuck is that grizzled old fucking guy in gray beard? I'm like, that's Mel Gibson. Who the fuck is Mel Gibson?
Oh, Gladiator.
Russell Crowe.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, time has not been kind to him.
Yeah.
That divorce kind of wrecked him.
Yeah. But yeah, he was like a handsome dude when he was young, right? And yeah, same thing with Mel Gibson. Like my old lady was like, oh, Mel Gibson. Oh,
Yeah.
fucking who is that? I think it was her that was talking about him, and just was like, because I think it was like when we showed her Lethal Weapon, and she's like, oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah, he was handsome. Like, yeah, my mom loves Mel Gibson.
Oh, really?
So, ooh, baby, Mel Gibson. Yeah, it's like, like, yeah, Mel Gibson when he's got a mullet in that movie. It's like still like, oh yeah. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I can get it.
What's his name from Driver?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, when he looks at Alec Baldwin's like, oh, that's the future. I know it. They look exactly the same, dude.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin's another good example. He was a handsome young man.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He was young. He's Malice or whatever. He was a Hunt for Red October. Like, he's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
But just
When you, that's our future. Look at him. Like, if you just don't do enough sales, guy, you're gonna look like that.
yeah. Yeah, what happened? Or Mickey Rourke. Fuck, Mickey Rourke is like the epitome of that.
Oh, isn't that whole like plastic surgery shit just went to his head?
I don't know what it was. If it was because he was boxing or whatever, but like Mickey Rourke looks like a completely different person now than he did when he was like in his 20s and early 30s. Because he was like a heartthrob when he was young.
He just looks like a grandma now.
Yeah, he just looks like somebody's grandma. He looks like someone's
all the jewelry and then the cowboy boots with the ripped jeans. Like, who you fooling, grandma?
Yeah,
Get out of here!
And it looks like a bunch of bees stung his face.
Yeah.
It's like,
all the
jeez.
fucking TRT went to his head.
I don't know what his deal is.
The
But
TRT.
I
Bro.
mean, don't get me wrong. I love Mickey Rourke, right? Like whatever, man. Like, whatever. Do whatever you do, man. Just keep doing it. But yeah, not like nobody looked at that guy when he was young and was like, that's what he's gonna look like when he's old. That's not good. Same thing with like Christy Alley is a good example of someone that just didn't age well, or like who else did I say that about? Like, she just didn't. That
the chick from Top Gun.
Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks fame, the chick that I showed you with like the ruby lips and a little like kind of pin up, and then she's just like fast forward like 10 years and she's like, oh, what the fuck? Not a good look. It can't all be Clooney guys, right?
Yeah.
Still just fucking handsome. Paul Newman, like fucking handsome until he was like 90 years old or whatever.
Well, I'm surprised DiCaprio kind of aged out. Like, now he looks like a distinguished gentleman now.
Yeah.
Like, he has boyish good looks when he was younger, and then now he looks like a distinguished dude.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder of like if Heath Ledger would have lived, if he would have kind of taken that trajectory, because he kind of had that boyish like kind of swagger.
Yeah, like those
He came
like
up in
dark crags, like starting to like, oh yeah, he could look like a distinguished dude.
Yeah, he come with like a Clooney, Brad Pitt kind of, because he was kind of in the same generation of actors as DiCaprio, right? Like, so you think like, yeah. You ever wonder if it's like some actors think to themselves, like, let's say you're DiCaprio, right? DiCaprio star has been on the rise, and now he's like at his epitome. But let's say you're coming up with Heath Ledger, and he just did Batman, right? And you're like
bringing out the heat, bro.
And you're like, fuck, man, like this guy's talented, right? And so like if you need
put me in the Aviator,
you need that type of guy.
Yeah.
And like, and then he croaks. You ever think actors go like, yes, more roles for me? I don't know. I mean, maybe not like yes, but like, there's only like a certain amount of guys.
Like, oh man.
Because like, take Paul Newman. Three of Paul Newman's most prominent roles: HUD. I want to say HUD, the Man with the Golden Arm, and maybe Cool Hand Luke. But it was like three of his more prominent roles that like made his stardom. Those movies had been in pre-production for several years, and they originally had cast James Dean in those roles. And it was Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. It's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, HUD, and I think The Man with the Golden Arm. Those three movies were all slated to be James Dean, and then James Dean died, and so you just kind of go, well, Paul Newman is there. And I mean, given what we know now, I'd rather have Paul Newman, but like, who knows how good of an actor James Dean would have been if he had lived.
I don't think I've ever seen any movies he was in.
He was only in 3 movies.
Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know how good he was.
Just
a heartthrob.
He definitely had promise to be a good actor. in the same vein as Marlon Brando or Paul Newman,
Okay.
Robert Redford, that generation of actors. They were all coming up together, and like a handsome dude or whatever. Like, okay, I get one of those guys, and so yeah, it was definitely good for Paul Newman's career that James Dean died because he was slated to be in all those movies, and I'm sure he would have done a good job. But yeah, it goes to Paul Newman. So if you're a DiCaprio and you look back, like you're kind of like making it, and Heath Ledger's like coming out, you're like, all right.
You think the opposite's true for David Spade when what's his name died?
Yeah.
It's like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
a meal ticket.
Yeah, because he's definitely part of a duo, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like for whichever one of between Penn and Teller dies first. Like if Penn or Teller, one of them is gonna die first, probably Teller because he's older.
Yeah.
By
He's like close to 70, isn't he?
fuck, he's probably older than that. He's probably in his 70s because Penn Jillette is in his 60s and Teller's like a decade older than he is.
Okay.
So yeah, he's probably in his early 70s. So, but it'd be more of a bummer for Teller if Penn dies first because
Who's gonna do all the talking?
who's gonna do the talking? Like, okay, that's a thing. But he does plenty of other stuff, I'm sure. But like their magic show is over, right? You can't replace
Any of them.
You can't replace either of them, right? They're indispensable to each other. It's like David Spade and Chris Farley. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like what would or Rob Schneider? What's he gonna do when fucking Adam Sandler kicks the bucket?
Oh no, we suck again.
Yeah. What is Rob Schneider gonna do when Adam Sandler dies? It's like, yeah, you suck, man. I'm sorry, you suck, and Adam Sandler sucks too. But I mean, at least he's a good pal. I'd love to have Adam Sandler as my friend.
Oh yeah, I kind of like what would Jesus do? Like what would Adam Sandler do? It's like he helps out the homies.
Yeah,
and he's a good friend, and he has a long memory.
Well, that's
that stuff.
That's the thing too. Is it's like you could say whatever you want about Tom Cruise, and everybody loves working with Tom Cruise, and he's so nice to everybody, and Keanu Reeves, and he helps out all these disenfranchised kids, and he's he gives to charity, and he gives all his money away to charity, and that's great, right? Okay, I'm not shitting on either.
Shit on him for that?
No, but I'm just saying it's a different stripe of a thing. To me, it's more like Adam Sandler is I am famous, and I just do these garbage movies that everybody loves, and I make tons of movies, and I am just going to lift up my whole entourage of these people.
I am the rising tide.
Yeah, it's I will just keep you with me, right? Because you just support my garbage or whatever.
You're my friend. I will help my friends.
Yep. And so I think that's better. I don't think he's better, but I think that's a better thing to do. It's a more laudable thing to give somebody kudos for. And again, I
think that thing carries within that. It's a halo effect, right? If you do good things, people recognize what they do. If they get roles, they help out other people amongst their circle.
Right.
So it's a compounding effect.
Right. Especially because there's one thing to give somebody charity. And I think that's probably what gets it for me is that giving somebody charity to me is not the same thing, is not as good as giving them work. You're giving someone work who would otherwise not be able to get work and saying I value your talents and I think that you're worth something. It's not charity because you're bringing something to the table. And I'm just appreciating the fact that I think that you're talented. I don't know why he thinks any of these people are talented, and maybe he doesn't. But he.
Yeah, it's better than hiring them as your entourage to be your groupies.
Yeah.
And you get me towels or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Put them to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, you see a similar thing with I don't know if it's nepotism, but it's Kevin Hart. He has a whole circle of friends that he hires them to be on tour with him to do stand-up. But I don't know.
Yeah, I almost feel with stuff like that, it's you're the boss, you're the employer. It's I almost wouldn't want a bunch of my friends to work for me. I would prefer it to just be strangers.
Yes, I would.
It's just strangers. Unless I knew they had a high competency in some skill, and I thought that I wouldn't just be well, you can do this, right? You could be a key grip or
Press
whatever.
pass. I need to hire you to fly drones and edit the video.
Yeah,
and
but if you needed a writer for something, hey, I'll give you some work, right?
Yeah.
Because trust her competency in that skill or whatever. Like this is a equitable exchange of labor for not just like me doing you a solid by giving you money to do something that I don't want to do or like whatever. I wouldn't want to be the big boss over like all my friends, you know. It would just be weird and like I don't know, it would just be, it seems like it would just create a lot of like infighting and kind of weird dynamics and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a bunch of like the cast of like some Adam Sandler movie on like a talk show, I think, and they all were like, yeah, I think it was like David Spade, like Norm Macdonald, and like a bunch of these guys, and they were like, and they were ripping on him, like they were just like, well, he's the boss, you know, he's like, you know, he's do whatever he wants, right? So we're all here by his good graces.
Oh,
making movies or whatever.
Don't look at me, Schwan.
Don't look at me, Schwan. Yeah, I don't know.
How's that cigar? What are you smoking?
Smoking Opulence
Mm.
from my father. Good as always. I think this is probably my favorite cigar in their line.
Oh, opulence?
It's a bold statement.
Out of the My Father line, or any of the Dom Pepin My Father.
I think it's probably my favorite out of, I don't know though, like the Cuban Classic.
Cuban Classic,
so
man.
Fucking good.
It's called a classic for a reason, my friend.
Yeah, it is.
It's making history.
It is. It's making history. Yeah, it's been around longer too, so that counts for something in my book. That's why the Tat Brown label is the best cigar in their line. So I don't know. But yeah, okay, let's just exclude the stuff that's branded, the Don Pepin stuff, the JJ and the Cuban Classic, and any of the limited stuff over
label.
Flagship stuff. I would say that it's probably my favorite. No, I probably like this more than the Blue Label. I don't think I have any compunction about saying that. I like the
I don't know if I like it that much more.
I wouldn't say it's a lot more, but it's like it's pretty clear that like if I have a choice between the two, like I take the Opulence. But if it's like Cuban Classic or JJ or Opulence, it's like, it's a coin flip. What am I in the mood for? Kind of situation.
Yeah.
But especially that like, man, those Cuban Classics I smoked when I was in Ann Arbor, dude. They were like 6 or 7 years old. They were so. I should have just bought the whole fucking box while I was there, dude. I was like, geez, I was like, these are so old. You don't sell these, or just sit there on the shelf? Like, yeah, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure if you called the shop, like just ship it over.
Yeah, they probably. I don't know. Like, hey, you still got those? You know, it's like a damn near original release. Like they're like,
hey, it's signed by Dom Pepin.
yeah,
Weird.
See his fingerprints on the fingers on the wrapper leaf. Wow.
You guys saw the RC 184? Is a tat with the white, blue, and red?
It comes in a Sumatra and a broadleaf.
But I think so.
Yes, we do.
Have you tried them?
I tried the Sumatra. Very good.
Okay.
Shades of the 7th Kappa.
Okay.
It's a lot like the Kappa Kappa, a little different. And again, it's just like I think I was hyped on it because it was like, I don't want to overstate it because it's still new, right? So I don't want to say it's better than the 7th Kappa because the 7th Kappa has been like a fucking great cigar for like a decade now. But it's pretty solid. If you like the Kappa Kappa, then you'll like that.
Yeah, I haven't been disappointed in anything with that label RC whatever 180 something.
Oh, I don't know, those Lonsdales we got that we smoked. They'd come in and I just remember they were like really strong. And I smoked it, and I wouldn't say I was disappointed, but I was just like, man, it was fine. I only smoked the one, and then I was just kind of like, But yeah, as far as I could tell, they only come in like one size or like short Robustos or whatever.
Okay.
But it's pretty solid. Yeah, we got those in, and we got the one-off now at Aloni, which is exciting.
Pretty good.
The couple of the boxes we had like 3 years of age on them too.
Yeah, I need to pick those up.
Yeah.
I haven't tried them since they got released. I don't know why. I just think the price tag at West Coast kind of turned me off on them.
But they're more expensive at West Coast than they are.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, so it's like
we probably didn't talk it on the podcast.
So the Churchill, the Giulietta size that we had that was 3 years aged out, I think it's $20. So it's the same price that you would. It's a little more expensive than the Ho-10 because we sell that for like 19 and change. But the Giulietta, the big size, is $20, and then the Robusto I think is like 18 or something. So it is a pricey stick, but but especially with like 3 years of age on them, like it's good.
Oh, I forgot to ask because no one in West Coast went to the big show this year, but Kevin Chan and your manager did.
All the owners and the manager and Kevin Chan all
Okay,
went to the
so
show.
what was like the big? What's the big, the talk of the town from what you can gather?
Fuck, I forgot what it's called. It's London something.
Hmm.
Um, we're supposed to be getting it, and like as soon as we do, I'm gonna grab a couple for us to smoke.
Okay,
But it's J London, I think is what it's called.
Hmm.
It's a new,
Jay London on the track.
yeah, it's a new company,
Hmm.
and this is his flagship cigar. And from what I can tell, he uses the rollers and sources his tobacco from Davidoff.
Oh, nice.
So it's like supposedly pretty good. I'll wait to see if there's like a sticker shock on it, like if it's like a $25 stick or whatever. But
Yeah.
it looks like it's an end around, like carrying it as an end around to having a Davidoff account because it's like a Davidoff stick,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of like the Xeno Platinum.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the one off. Is the one off is like that. So it's like you're like, fuck man, that sticker price, right? But then you smoke it and you're like, all right, it's probably like one of the few cigars I can think of that's like worth $20.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sitting on those last ones from West Coast
Uh-huh.
still. I got 3 of them. I got the last
Yeah.
3 that was in that box, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sit on 'em a little longer, see what happens.
I'm kind of. I need. Well, you need to talk to some of the guys. Like, what's a dark horse that came out of the show? Because for me, from 2019, the Warhawk was like
Yeah.
the underground king for me. I was like, holy shit, this cigar is amazing.
But yeah, that was a
That'd be my dark horse of.
because you were responsible for bringing that in, weren't you? Because didn't you smoke that? Because like you came back, and I don't remember Bill or Chris saying anything about that cigar, and then it showed up at the shop, and you were like, because you had the sample,
Mhm.
and you were like, I smoked that. It was like, ooh, it was good, and I was like, really?
Yeah.
Clay?
Yeah.
And you were like, and then we got him in, and so I was like, I assumed you just told Bill like, yeah, you gotta fucking order this. This is good.
Yeah, because he asked me, he's like, what do you think we should get? I was like, dude, you need to get the Warhawk. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And it
Yeah.
came in, so it came through.
But you don't have it anymore, so
Yeah,
but
that
yeah,
one,
no, it's always good to like
because you would never even think like something from General Altadis, something like that, and no one talked about it.
Yeah.
And I was like surprised. Like, are you serious? Like, maybe 2 or 3 people talked about
you
it.
were ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Because it, like once it came into the shop, it seemed like it was popular. And it seems like they're popular over at Mission, according to Brandon.
Mhm.
And then it was like number 4 cigar of the year from Cigar Aficionado or something like that.
Oh, it was?
wasn't
Okay.
Yeah, it made the top 10.
Mhm. Yeah, surprising from like a Connecticut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a fucking good cigar.
Mhm.
It was a, but no, I always try to like for me, it was like same thing. I know you're not like a big fan of Roma Craft, but Roma Craft and Regis, both at West Coast. Like I had someone's like, "Oh man, have you ever had like this Regis?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was like basically responsible for bringing that line into the shop.
Uh-huh.
That was my idea.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I have had that cigar."
I got these tattoos from Roller Craft, but you don't know about this.
Yeah, same thing. Well, like I wish we could get back to Baca, like because the Roma Craft just seems like it's this carryover. I don't even remember the last time I saw a new Roma Craft on the shelf.
Yeah, the Baca was good.
It was for a Sumatra. Like fuck yeah, it was good.
Sumatra, I thought it was a Cameroon.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
It's I think the
Because it's like
maybe
sourced from like Africa.
yeah, but the binder might be Sumatra
Maybe, yeah.
because it's like it's all African tobacco. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's a Cameroon. And to me, that Cameroon dunks on like fucking almost every Cameroon. Like
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
it's a solid cigar.
Yeah.
Like I'm nonplussed by Cameroons as a general rule.
It just seems like all Cameroons are just like watered down versions of whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
give me that.
Yeah, it's a good cigar. It's
Yeah.
like the one. I mean, I like most of their stuff, but I can see like your assessment that the profile is kind of muddy, that it's not as crisp and like its flavors is apt, but I don't know, something about it I like. It's kind of like one of those KFC bowls, right, where they just like put all the shit in one bowl,
Here, you like this stuff.
and you're just like you're like, I can't really like.
It comes in a bowl.
It's just like all together, right? Like it's good, and I like it. I guess they're re-releasing the Craft. It's like a limited cigar they did for a few years, like the ones that look like a trumpet or whatever, and it's got like weird designs on the label.
No, okay.
I guess they're doing another one of those this year, so maybe it'll be as good. But I don't know.
The guys from that company are kind of weird. Kind of nose in the air. Like, yeah, we know our shit's good.
From
All right.
Rollcraft?
Yeah, I'm like, all right, calm down. Just chill out. Let me smoke some of your shit. I'll be the judge of it.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, to me, if I didn't know anything about it, I'd be like, oh, these guys were kind of jerks. Their cigars were probably good. Like someone was.
Well, no, well, like if that was your indication of a good cigar, then fucking Room 101 would be awesome. Then,
I've never met those guys.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know.
yeah, I've heard stories where Matt Booth would go up and say, "Hey man, I got something for you," like underneath this fucking your arm, give your cigars like, "All right, smoke it." Yeah, it's all right. What's
I
the
don't know.
big
My
fucking
my
deal?
buddy Matt was at the at some show with him, and he said he was cool. He was like, yeah, Matt Booth was like a super cool dude.
Yeah, it could be one of those things.
Um,
Yeah, it's like my story with Rock Patel. I think Rock Patel is a cool guy, but a lot of people think he's an asshole. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but he was really nice to me. So
yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on what their criticism is of. Like, he is an asshole is not very specific, right? It's just kind of a general criticism. It's like, okay, well, that just means that you don't like him, but you're not really explaining why you don't like him,
Mhm.
right? Like the
it's
thing.
the same guy from uh fuck, I'm blanking on names now. Regis.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
guy who runs Regis.
yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of stories about that guy. It's like, yeah, that guy's kind of, nose up in the air, kind of hoity-toity, and bit of an asshole. And this whole story of him getting like super high in conferences and just like, yeah, weird
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because I met that guy the first time and I thought he was okay,
Mhm.
and then like I heard he was coming to West Coast and I was like, yeah, that guy's all right. Some people were like, I've heard he's kind of an asshole, and I was like, I don't know, like he seemed pretty cool to me. And then like after he came to that event and I talked to him, he didn't have any recollection of meeting him before, and then I came away like thinking he was kind of a jerk. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, he's kind of a jerk.
Mhm.
He's pretentious,
Mhm.
and he's condescending, and he's dismissive.
Mhm.
And so I was just like, yeah, I didn't really care for that general attitude. And but yeah, I don't know. Like it's like if I told you like, hey, I ate at a restaurant, and you're sort of like, well, how was it? And I was like, yeah, I didn't like it, and that was it. And you would just be like, okay, well, what about it didn't you
Mhm.
like? Maybe the things that you don't like about a restaurant, I do. Like some people like a different atmosphere, a different style of service. It's like you were talking about with the whole thing where like some places have that whole like they're super rude to you like shtick,
Mhm.
and like some people dig that. Like it's really cool. Is they tell you to fuck off, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't need that. Like
Yeah.
fucking leave me alone, dick. And so
I'm paying money for this shit.
yeah. What do you want? Yeah, like kind of like that whole gruff demeanor thing.
Mhm.
And so I get that a little bit from the guy at the pool hall. He's kind of got like that gruff demeanor, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know, kind of like brr kind of dude.
Mhm.
I mean, not that he's ever done anything to me. I just kind of get that
It was
general
a little
impression.
gruff, but
Yeah.
he hasn't done anything bad to me. So.
No, and generally speaking, I get it. Like you have to be like if you're gonna run a fucking pool hall, you have to be kind of gruff.
Mhm.
Like just like if you own a dive bar,
Yeah.
you're gonna be kind of a gruff dude. Otherwise, you have no business owning a dive bar. You're just not. You're just gonna get eaten alive by all the chuckleheads and shitbags that fucking come into the place.
Mhm.
So you just kind of have to develop a tough exterior or whatever, and people have to learn to deal with it. So I don't mind that as a general rule, but some people do, and they might just categorize that as an asshole. Where I was just like, well, what do you expect? He runs a dive bar. Did you expect him to suck your dick when you came in the door? like give you a Hummer?
Uh-huh.
Give you some sort of Hummer? It's like, oh, okay. But no, yeah, I'm like, next time I see Jeb, I'll ask him like if there were any, especially if we have any stuff that's coming in that was kind of like, but he said it was like there were 6 owners, and him and Kevin, and they were all unanimous that that was the best stick of the show.
Hmm.
He was like, and that hardly ever happens because we all have very different smoking preferences, right? Like, and Kevin and Jeb's sensibilities are probably closer to mine, but Jeb's profile is more narrowed. He doesn't like things that are typically very full.
Mhm.
He doesn't like Maduros. He doesn't like he's just not really into that. So he likes stuff that's a little more mild than I do sometimes. And Kevin's kind of a wild card. Like he, generally speaking, like I'll like be in line, but then every now and again he'll like say something is really good, and like I'll just be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This isn't good at all."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
so it's like actually the person that probably has the Triple B probably has the closest to my smoking sensibilities.
Triple B.
Triple B.
Triple B.
He has good taste in cigars.
Uh-huh.
He tries a lot of stuff, and it seems like he's just like always trying new stuff, and he's not
But
the
is it like, yeah, it's good?
No, he's closer to that than he is like the kind of person that just overstates the cause.
Uh-huh.
So I'm more, generally speaking, I think it's more useful to have like the nonplussed by most thing opinions, as opposed to somebody who's like always just hyped on whatever like the newest thing that they've tried.
Yeah, flavor of the month.
Yeah, it's
I,
like
I think that's where Kevin kind of falls into.
Yeah.
Flavor of the month, and kind of just gets mind hyped by everybody else. It's like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good.
But when I look at what he buys on a regular basis, it's, you know, it's stuff that I buy on a regular basis too.
Yeah.
So it's just like like he'll say things, but it's like, like, oh yeah, it's really good. It's like, really? Do you think it's that good? Because we've had it on the shelf, and the last 3 times you've been in.
Yeah, stated preference.
Right. It's been Tap Brown label. It's been like, the My Father. It's like you're reaching for these things instead. So to me, it's like that whole what's your favorite cigar? And it's like, I could ask this of every customer that comes in on a regular basis, what their favorite cigar is. And for the guys that only smoke like 2 or 3 cigars, they would be able to tell you unilaterally, this one that I smoke every day, that's my favorite. But some people would have they would have a different response. But if you can look up on their account, and you could just be like, let's just go through and tally the cigar that you've purchased the most. And that is your favorite cigar. Whatever cigar you purchase the most is your favorite cigar.
But can you say like something that's like out of a daily price range? You're like, yeah, I could smoke 1926s, but it's cost prohibitive. Like, that's my favorite cigar. 1926, probably like a number 35.
Well,
I'd smoke that every day if I could.
But it's like it's just totally ignoring a metric of something that plays into what your favorite is. What's your favorite restaurant? It's like, well, it's whatever one you eat at the most, right? It's like if money were no object, it's like, but it is. And it's that plays into your decision to what is worth that money. And if that thing is not worth the money, then I don't know in what way you can say that it's your favorite. Like your favorite person is the person you spend the most time with.
Aw, thanks.
Time in, right? Time in counts.
No, but I think the price of the cigar does kind of, because even though you make a statement of like, okay, like I said, 1926, number 35, I like that cigar a lot. I'd probably put that in my top 3. But if you look at my history of buying cigars, it wouldn't be that. Like, it's nowhere near, because it's too expensive a cigar.
Right.
But if you told me price is no object, well, I'll take that.
But it gets into the operational definition of what constitutes a favorite. Like you said, stated preference versus revealed preference. And so it's like, if favorite is just your stated preference, then you would have to be prepared to say that, let's say I looked at your sales history and there were 2 cigars that were the same price. You say cigar number 1 you like more, and it's the same price as cigar number 2, but your sales history bears out that you buy cigar number 2 twice as much as you buy cigar number 1.
But you're flattening out the thing by, being the same price, right?
Right, but what I'm saying is that if you're just going to say stated preference is favorite, then if you were to reveal that like 2 things that are the same price, and one you choose at a 2-to-1 ratio to the other one, then can that still be true? Can you still say, well, I prefer this one? It's like, but your buying history does not suggest that.
Yeah.
Like, because you're saying something consciously, it means what you're consciously aware of, and we make all kinds of purchases. Like, this is why the market bears out what it is that you like, because sometimes you just buy things for whatever confluence of reasons that are unbeknownst to you. When you go to articulate them, you would say that this is a thing. So I'm reluctant to say that like stated preference is the whole story. I'm not saying that it's not part of the story, but because you would likely have an awareness of something, but like you're saying that you're going to ignore, can you ignore cost? It's like, well, but what about construction? What could you say that like, I really like this cigar, but it just burns like shit, so I don't buy it that much. It's like, okay, well, that factors into whether it's your favorite. Like all the things that something is, price included, factor into what I would view as your favorite. Your and because otherwise I'm just left with
Okay, so
nothing
then it's
nothing
kind
more
of,
than stated
then it's
preference.
going back to kind of like why is a guy an asshole, right?
Right?
Well, like this place sucks. Why does it suck? Like you're not stating like was the service good? Were the people there good? Same thing with like preference of like favorite cigar, flavor wise, construction, consistency. All those things factor in, but you're usually just saying what tastes good to you. You're not factoring in like for me, I would have to say, all those three components would would come up in spades for my top three. All those things have like all those things in common. Like,
Well, I would say, yeah, I mean, I would say it's four things. It's the when I talk about my favorite cigars, I do include price,
Mhm.
price, flavor, construction, consistency.
Mhm.
Those four things.
yeah,
And it's the same argument that I just made about the opulence and why I kind of like I was like, oh, I was on the verge of saying like I think it's my favorite cigar from them, but then when I thought more about it for a second, like consistency. So it's like Cuban Classic, good for a decade, always good,
yeah,
every time for a decade. Opulence, not even half of that, right? Like 4 or 5 years.
Mhm.
It's like, all right, well, when it's like double in one, when otherwise, when I think of flavor profile, I go and cost and construction, I'm like, well, they're kind of neck and neck. And so you have like, I was like, but this one's newer. It's newer to me. So it's like you have more of like a new stuff bias. But I
yeah,
almost,
recency bias. Yeah,
right. But I almost always take like when I take a step back and think about it, I almost take the long view, which is like actually consistency. If this consistency for this one, it will drown out any recency bias. Like it just drowns it out because it's just like I think about how many times I've smoked that cigar and how many times I've returned to it for whatever reason. And it's like consistency and flavor and price are all like a reason to return to it repeatedly. How many of them have I consumed? And so for me, that's got to be my favorite because it's been, as I always say, it's just been good to me for so long, right? Like it's just like a good relationship, right? The Boulevard Bellicoso Fino has just been like my sweetheart pretty much since I started smoking cigars. And she's never done me wrong, and so I'm not gonna throw her under the bus for some new little chippy,
floozy.
right? Some new chippy or whatever. I'm not gonna do it. I can't, in good conscience. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like it would be like I would put top five would be Davidoff White Label. Why not?
Always solid.
Always solid. I will never pass that up. Someone here have a Davidoff. Fucking yeah, I'll have one.
It's the thing on the tin. You know what you're getting every time. It's just like Padron. This is why they're priced the way they are, is because
Oh, why is it so much? Well, there's a lot of factors.
I've been smoking cigars for 16, 17 years, and I can count on one hand the amount of times I've ever heard anybody say this Padron isn't burning or this Padron tastes like shit.
Yeah.
Like one hand, even if I were missing a couple fingers, I could probably still manage it.
Oh yeah.
It's like never happens. And if anything, it's almost always the opposite. Like, God, this is so good. My uncle says it all the time. Like, it's like just works every time.
Mhm.
Like, just when you don't know, you just get this thing, and
Yeah.
it just does the job.
Yeah, it's one of those things you go to a new shop, new city, new location or whatever, and just like, well, okay, I don't know what these are. Padron.
Yep.
1000 series. Can't go wrong.
Always.
As long as it's not moldy or too dry.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
And sometimes it's always fun to just be like, oh, what's like the, what are people on your shop hyped about or whatever. And
These acids, man, they're good.
well, it was like I told you, like one of the owners from Maloney came into West Coast back before I ever worked there. And he was telling me about the Macanudo White, and he was like, I can't keep these on the shelf out there, man. Like, it's just like, I'm going through them. Like, it's crazy. And I was like, really?
Uh-huh.
I was like, yeah, like people love them. And I'm like, man, you got to give her a clientele over there.
But like the people that buy the Macanudo White Labels, what else are they smoking though?
I have no clue. I've never actually met anybody that likes it.
Well, you have. But yeah. Who? The owner of Maloney.
He didn't say he liked them.
Oh, okay.
He said he couldn't keep them on the shelf.
Oh, okay. I thought he said he smoked them.
So maybe he said maybe he did like them, but he didn't express that to me. He just said like they were flying off the shelf. So I was like, okay, like, and who? I'm sure some of those people are people that I know, but I just don't know that they like that cigar. So it's like
Yeah, I knew a guy, but he's dead now, so I can't really.
relation,
Whoa.
related. Yeah, I don't know. It was like that. That for me, that's the king of bad cigars. Like it's just fucking awful. It's just awfully bad. I can't even like.
No, yeah, I was just looking at that thing like, let me bite the bullet and just see how bad it
You
is.
should. You should try it and just like.
I think I might do an Instagram story on that. Just, I'll do that.
It's rough. I mean, I got really disappointed. Speaking of new cigars,
Hmm.
so for whatever reason, I got it in my head I was gonna try a new cigar today that we never had before, and I saw that we have these new La Gloria Cubanas in. Not a big La Gloria Cubana fan, but it's a media tempo.
Oh, I smoked that one.
Were you disappointed that it was sweet capped? Because the flavor of the cigar otherwise I thought was pretty solid.
Yeah, I was looking up and I smoked this like, this is a fucking sweet cap. There's nothing in the literature that tells you it's a sweet cap.
Do they just do that on all their cigars now?
Well, I don't know. I don't smoke too many La Glorias
Well,
anymore.
this happened to me a while ago. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Because I know their Connecticut has a sweet cap, and then that one has a sweet cap. But like not like away from the sweet cap thing. It's just kind of you look at what makes up that cigar, and it's just like a fucking. It's like it's just a mishmash of stuff, and
Yeah.
it just tastes like that. It comes out like that.
sure, but
But there's notes in there that you can like find in different thirds of it, and it hits, and then goes away, and just becomes muddy again.
But I would have thought that it was a fine cigar. Like fine, not good, but I would have been like, that's fine.
It's passable, yeah.
Like, I'd have been, it's fine.
Mhm.
Even somewhat good in the relative scale of La Gloria Cubanas.
Mhm.
Probably the best La Gloria Cubana, which isn't saying a lot, but
I like the N series. That one's good.
I don't remember last time I smoked that.
Mm.
But but I was just like, no, it's just the sweet cap just fucking ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Like, it just ruined the whole cigar. It's like I kept thinking that I could taste something, but it just kept getting drowned out by time. Like, when you draw on a cigar and like when it hits, you can kind of get like what the flavor is gonna be, and then it'd be like if you were drinking like a soda or a milkshake or something, and you had something on the straw and it was like coming up the straw, and you could like, oh, it's gonna be strawberry flavor, and then it just like went through some really bad flavored thing at the end of the straw, and like when it hit your palate, it was all muddied up and gross. And I just like, man, this is disappointing. Like, why would they do that? Like, they could have had like a halfway passable cigar.
I don't know why you need to do that.
I suspect what they're trying to do is like end around. Like, they think that people can't tell if something is sweet capped, and that people secretly like sweet capped cigars or some shit. And they're like, so you're gonna smoke it and be like, man, this is good. Like, why do I, like? But if you told them like, hey, this is a sweet cigar, they'd be like, oh, I don't want that. Like, it's like they're trying to trick you in some way.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
It's gotta be what they're doing, trying to trick you. They think that you can't tell, and I was just like,
You think
man,
people are? Yeah, like you're just not advertising that at all. You're just gonna fucking just trick people. You're gonna trick me?
yeah.
Can't trick me.
Because I was like indignant when I smoked that other one. I was like, what the? And I remember I told you, I was like, smoke this, dude. Tell me it's not fucking infused. It's got to be like infused. I'm like, but there's nothing that indicates that it is. I'm like, and I looked it up, and I'm like, no, it doesn't say that it's infused or anything like that. Like, why does this taste fucking infused? There's no way this is natural. Like, not only is it like too amped up on the sweetness to be a natural sweetness.
Yeah, when you cut it and you're like, what the fuck is that
Yeah,
taste?
it's just like this film in your mouth.
Yeah, it's like floral and sweet. I'm like, you don't usually get that from a cigar.
Yeah, especially because it just tastes like simple syrup in your mouth. Like, it's just greasy on the inside of your mouth. It's just like, who thinks that I can't tell?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, fast one on me.
Well, fucking, like, what's his name with the brulees did that? The, Saka?
Did I try them? I don't think I have. I don't remember.
It's a Sober Mesa.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The brulee.
Uh-huh.
And everybody insists that it's like, it's a flavored, infused cigar. It's sweet capped or something. And he, like, insists that it's not. And so he has Saka's Taste for Yourself,
what
sampler?
Okay.
The STFU sampler.
Okay.
Where it was like one was normal, one
normal.
was like the original, and they were not banded. It was like one was double capped and one was like triple capped and one was like fully infused or something like that. And he was like, so
can you tell the difference?
Yeah,
Take the Pepsi challenge.
Yeah, kind of. And it was just like, yeah, I don't I still don't buy it. It does. It tastes infused. It tastes like just
Yeah, you can
super.
trick all these old men thinking this thing, but it's not gonna fool me.
Well, not to mention, it's like, okay, so you're gonna say like, okay, well, this is what a sweet cap cigar tastes like,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what it tastes like with it. It's like, well, you could just be putting different
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
different variations of it or whatever. But if he says it's not flavored, then okay, I guess maybe it's not. But like, sure, it does taste like it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change the fact that it's too fucking sweet. How do you have some magic recipe for a cigar that tastes infused but isn't? That no one else has. That's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
That no one can even come close to replicating that flavor. And you call it a brulee because that's what it tastes like you're eating fucking creme brulee. So it's like something I recommend to people that say they don't want an infused cigar but want something really sweet. I don't really have an interest in it, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know why you would do that. Like I tried that and it was just like I was kind of disappointed in this. I don't know why you would do this. So it would have been a fine cigar for their line and still like on the lower whatever. I think the Spanish press is serviceable. I think it's a perfectly serviceable, like above average cigar. Um, in their fleet, it's probably the best cigar they make, and it was pretty good, like a 6.5. So
That's okay.
I smoked a few of them, and I was like, I saw we had it, and I almost grabbed that instead. I'm like, I haven't had one of those in a while. It's a pretty decent cigar. I'm like,
Mhm.
I've never tried this before. I'll try something I haven't tried.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Nope.
Regretted it.
Mhm.
Wrong.
Mhm.
Wrong. Talk about La Gloria Cubana, man.
Yeah, a rep came in. I think he did sell La Gloria stuff, and then in the mix was El Rey de Mundo, the ones in the tampon. And I haven't had it in like years, like probably like the first 2 years of me smoking cigars. That was the
Yeah.
last time I've had it, so it had to be what 12 or 13 years
Yeah.
since I've had that cigar, and I was like, huh, not bad, not bad. El Rey de Mundo,
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
good old classic.
I think probably the best cigar.
It's like a big forgotten cigar.
It's General, right?
Yeah. Who does? Is it Altus? Or, I never remember with La Gloria. Is it General Altus?
I think it's General.
Okay, because I'm really fuzzy with the lines. Like I don't remember.
Yeah. So I think the best cigar that General makes is the El Rico Habano.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fucking solid cigar.
Mhm.
Kind of just tastes like an old world Cuban cigar. It's
Yeah.
like pretty good.
Just funky with the construction. That's the only issue I have with it.
Especially because I smoke the Lonsdale a lot, and it
Mm.
does kind of like
Unravel. Yeah.
it can.
Yeah.
But actually, it's funny because to me, it's really hit or miss.
Mm.
Like either the construction on it's great, and it's like the cut's good, and it's like nice dense ash all the way through with no trouble,
Mhm.
or it's just a fucking shit show. Like
Mm.
there's no middle ground. It's never like it's okay.
Uh-huh.
It's always like really good, and like you can get like a fucking ash like that long on it because it's rolled so well, or it'll just be like unraveling or like fucking like tunneling, canoeing, like whatever it's doing. It's like so that's part of the reason I stopped smoking it. Well, I would say the Punch Signature is probably up there too for the best cigar that General makes.
Yeah.
That's a pretty solid stick too.
Another hit or miss cigar for me is like the Antaño. Like it used to be a big powerhouse cigar, like for when I first started smoking, and now it's just hit or miss. It's like either it has a ton of flavor and has a burn issue, or it burns perfectly and it just doesn't have any flavor.
I
It's
don't even
all like nicotine. That's all it is, no flavor.
Yeah. I think the last time I had one of those, like I was like, huh, I don't remember liking this cigar that much. Jeb gave me like a sampler of them because he was like, oh, you like Antaños, don't you? I'm like, not really. But he was like, well, you want this sampler or whatever? I'm like, sure, great.
Mhm.
And he gave me, it was like all the ones with like the different, it was like a 5 count.
Yeah.
With like all the different sizes
In the
in
wooden
it.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, yeah, like, I haven't had an Antaño in a while, but maybe I just don't remember like this cigar. He was like, oh, I was like, that I've had that for like 5 years. I was like, oh,
Oops.
okay. That explains why.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I found it and we had it for like 5 years. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, oh, okay, that explains why they're good. So maybe because like I like the CT Antonio. I
Mhm.
think is good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, not like super hyped on that one.
yeah,
I understand why people like it, but I'm like, yeah, good on you. More for you to smoke.
yeah. I think it's the best cigar that Drew Estate makes. And I realize that's not saying a lot because Drew Estate doesn't really make anything good. Like, and even the things they used to like make that I liked.
Underground. I like Underground.
The undercrowns are good.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the undercrowns. But things they used to make.
Herrera Estelís.
Yeah, when was the last like the regular white label Herrera Estelís are still pretty good.
Mhm.
But like I used to like the Norteño when it first came out.
You used to like the Miami.
I used to love the Miami back when it was on a red band.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. Now it tastes like shit. Same thing with the Norteño. Norteño just doesn't like, remember it used to have like, it used to be like a rich cigar. Like it was like rich and kind of had that just real like chocolatey kind of like with a little bit of Nicaraguan spice to it. Like when it first came out, it doesn't taste like that anymore. Same thing with the Miami. The Miami, ever since they got rid of the red bands and they went to the just all black bands, doesn't taste the same. It's not as good. Last few times I smoked it, really disappointed. Even the Matafinas, the Brazilias, the Matafinas, they're just like not as good as they used to be. They're still fine. But like, yeah, the Undercrown, just the Undercrown Maduro. The Undercrown Maduro and the CT, I think, are the two best cigars they make. And it seems like they're just making more and more cigars. And like somebody was asking me, like, "Oh, have you had this new Liga yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't do Liga anymore."
Yeah, I'm done with Liga.
I don't do it. Like,
oh, you want a cigar that tastes like the other cigars, and we just put another band on it?
I don't get it.
They're just marketing kings.
I think it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
because I don't know. Like I don't even like if someone gave me a Liga Privada, I would smoke it, but probably not for a while. Probably just thanks. I'm sticking in my locker for a bit.
Oh, like, not even T52, bro.
Maybe like in 5 years, this will smoke like it used to, but it's just I certainly don't spend the money on Liga at all, and so it's like they're just like gradually getting more expensive, and like the quality of their fleet is just like decreasing to the point where it's like. Some of the stuff I can't even tell the difference between most of it. Like all the Liga Privada is just the same stuff. Like, and that would be fine if it were like Padron. That's all the same stuff, but good stuff. But it's like it's not good. I don't like it.
All right, we are running really long tonight.
I'm a long guy.
Okay. All right, I heard different, but okay.
Oh damn.
Anyway, yeah, suck it, nerds. Peace!
Thanks for listening to Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. Consider subscribing. You can rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and pretty much anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. And you can also write us with any ideas, suggestions, or horrible burning criticism at mikeyandthepresspass@gmail.com. Thank you.